don't want a god-tier ability and choose the worst talent instead? Hey! Look who's back for more adventures. We love having you here to continue this story that keeps us all awake. Important note, all of this is pure fiction. So don't try any techniques you hear here in real life, your neighbor might call the cops. This amazing novel and all its rights belong to the original author. We're just the ones giving it voice and drama. Are you enjoying the show? Prove it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving that like that motivates us so much. And if you want VIP access to exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting with things you won't find anywhere else. Chapter 51, Steel Body Activated. His parents didn't stay long. They left after delivering the extraordinary skill. Zhao Zheng tried to persuade them to stay for lunch, but they declined, seemingly having taken leave at the last minute and eager to return. After seeing his parents off at the train station, Zhao Zheng didn't return to his apartment. Instead, he hailed a taxi and headed to a sparsely populated suburb. Sitting in the car, he mentally activated his attribute panel, which appeared in his left eye. Race, human. Constitution, 310. Spirit, 101. Strength, 310. Agility, 310. Talent, Kryptonian bloodline. Skill, fist wind impact. Psionic points, 350. A new skill line had clearly appeared on his attribute panel. Looking at fist wind impact next to the skill, Zhao Zheng's face lit up with anticipation. Several tens of minutes later, the driverless taxi stopped at the foot of a mountain. This was Zhao Zheng's destination. He paid the fare readily and, before getting out, set the taxi to wait for him for 20 minutes. This is another function of the driverless taxi. It can wait in place for up to half an hour, which is very user-friendly and convenient for users to use the car again. Of course, it won't work in congested urban areas. A moment later, Zhao Zheng arrived at a grove of trees, not far from the mountain. This place is sparsely populated, and no one should come here. Zhao Zheng didn't waste any time, spotted a large tree, and prepared to make his move. That's right. He came to test his extraordinary skill, fist wind impact. Zhao Zheng took a deep breath, clenched his fist, and then threw a punch. Bang! The air exploded. The moment Zhao Zheng threw his punch, a powerful hurricane, visible to the naked eye, formed on his fist, like an air cannon, smashing everything in front of him. Boom boom, the flowers and grass along the way were instantly shredded, leaving a mess, and finally forming a wide passage. It was like the result of a meteorite impact. The large tree further away cracked, and a crack instantly appeared in the middle of its trunk. As for the bark, most of it was shattered and pitted. From a distance, it looked as if a pack of wild boars were frantically rooting through the area. Only then did the shockwave from Zhao Zheng's punch completely cease and disappear. Seeing the destructive effect of his punch, even though it hadn't broken the tree, Zhao Zheng still wore a satisfied smile. Because he was standing at least 10 meters away from the tree. At that distance, a single punch could crack the tree trunk. What more could he ask for? Seeing the sheer power of the punch shockwave, Zhao Zheng even had the urge to add all 350 spirit energy points to his strength attribute. However, he was a rational person and didn't do such a foolish thing. The attribute increases he gained from sunbathing every day were already more than enough. There was no need to use spirit energy points to further enhance his attributes. Besides increasing attributes, spirit energy points could also improve some innate abilities. It could be said that these points were very useful. If he really encountered trouble in the spirit realm, he could use spirit energy points to instantly increase his attributes and achieve a comeback. Unlike other students whose attributes increased slowly through training and could only grow stronger using the spiritual energy points provided by the spirit realm, Zhao Zheng could grow stronger simply by lying down. Leaving the forest, Zhao Zheng got into his car, satisfied, and returned to the city. In the afternoon, Zhao Zheng, who had just finished lunch, was about to take a nap when Old Shu suddenly called him, asking him to go to the vice principal's office. Hearing this, Zhao Zheng guessed that Song Haitang's troublemaking had yielded results. When he arrived at the school, he saw a notice posted there. Recently, our school received reports from some members of the public regarding Zhang Che of the Academic Affairs Office. After investigation, the reports are basically true. Zhang Che, during his tenure as director of the Academic Affairs Office, has engaged in multiple violations and underhanded operations. After deliberation by the principal's office, it has been decided to suspend Zhang Che from his duties. Good heavens! He was actually suspended? Although the notice didn't explicitly state it, Zhao Zheng knew that it was this director Zhang who had transferred him to Class B. Song Haitang was really something. He wondered what she had said to make the school take such a drastic step. However, this would definitely offend many people. If things went smoothly for her, it wouldn't be a problem, but if she performed poorly in the next spiritual realm, those she offended would surely come out to kick her while she was down. To prevent this from happening, Zhao Zheng was determined to keep Song Haitang on her team and help her achieve godlike status. After all, she was doing these things to stand up for him. When Zhao Zheng arrived at the vice principal's office, the vice principal warmly greeted him, showering him with concern. Although Zhao Zheng knew it was all because of Song Haitang, he still felt very uncomfortable. Finally, the vice principal asked Zhao Zheng if he wanted to join Class A, which Zhao Zheng refused. He felt he was fine staying in Class B. It wouldn't affect his teaming up with Song Haitang anyway. After that, Zhao Zheng returned to his usual routine. Every day consisted of eating, attending classes, and sunbathing. Compared to his classmates who trained themselves to the bone every day, his life was incredibly comfortable. Old Chu knew that Zhao Zheng's training wouldn't increase his attributes, so he didn't say much, only occasionally teaching him some fighting techniques, and leaving everything else to his own devices. This was why Zhao Zheng liked staying in Class B. Online, the new Recordian Song Haitang set in the spirit realm was losing its popularity over time. After half a month, there was hardly any discussion among netizens. Today is June 21st. 20 days have passed since the first level of the spirit realm. Morning. Zhao Zheng woke up from the sunbathing device, and the first thing he did was check his attribute panel: race, human. Constitution, 500 spirit. 158 strength. 500 agility. 500 talent, Kryptonian bloodline. Skill, fist wind impact. Spiritual energy points, 350. This is his current attribute panel. Constitution, strength, and agility all reached exactly 500. According to the panel, his current strength is 50 times that of a normal adult. Zhao Zheng smiled with satisfaction. Just then, a new notification suddenly appeared in his left eye. Physical attribute reached 500, successfully activating the hidden talent of the Kryptonian bloodline, steel body, one of the innate abilities of the Kryptonian bloodline. After activation, one possesses a body of steel, impervious to blades and spears, greatly increasing defensive capabilities. Note, steel body is affected by the physical attribute, currently increasing base defense by 3 times. As your physical attribute increases, the amplification from steel body will become increasingly greater. Seeing this notification, Zhao Zheng's eyes immediately lit up. P.S. Brothers are so enthusiastic. Early update. Also, please vote. If you don't have monthly tickets, please give me recommendation tickets. 2 chapters will be released after midnight tonight. Chapter 52. Boys need to protect themselves when they go out. Race, human. Constitution, 500, spirit, 158, strength, 500, agility, 500. Talent, Kryptonian bloodline, iron body, activated. Skill, fist wind impact. Psionic points, 350. Seeing iron body, activated, in the talent section, Zhao Zheng was overjoyed. Then, he immediately felt that his body seemed to have changed. His skin was still soft, but it was incredibly resilient, even tougher than cowhide. The muscles inside had become very firm and well-defined. As for the bones at the very core, although he couldn't test them, Zhao Zheng had a feeling that his bones might now be harder than steel bars. Zhao Zheng quickly went to the bathroom and stood in front of the mirror. When he saw himself in the mirror, a look of surprise appeared on his face. In the mirror, he had thick eyebrows, large eyes, and sharply defined features, very handsome. Most importantly, his physique had changed. In fact, since obtaining the Kryptonian bloodline, Zhao Zheng's physique had been improving, but today's change was the most significant. The most striking feature was his abs. Before, it was 4-pack, but now it's 6. His pectoral muscles and biceps are clearly defined. Not as exaggerated as some Europeans, but very attractive. Even his height seems to have increased. He's probably already 1.85 meters tall. To put it bluntly, Zhao Zheng, in his current state, would at least be a champion in a modeling competition. If he worked as a gigolo in a nightclub, he'd definitely make those rich women scream with excitement. His physique is too perfect. Perfect. Looking at himself in the mirror, Zhao Zheng revealed an extremely satisfied smile. No wonder I have Superman's physique. This is amazing. Once I activate my super flight ability, I'll get a bodysuit, a cape, and stand in midair, trying to be a god among men, he said, imagining that scene. Finally, he couldn't help but laugh out loud. Suddenly, he thought of Song Haitang. Originally, the Kryptonian bloodline card belonged to Song Haitang. If he hadn't used the flame fruit to make Song Haitang a superheroine, and then dressed her in a bodysuit with her looks and figure, it would have been quite a sight, right? He could try to fool her later. He glanced at the time. It was already late. Today's lesson was important. Old Chu was going to talk about the information in the second level of the spiritual realm, and he couldn't be late or absent. So, Zhao Zheng washed up, put on some casual clothes, and quickly went out. He went downstairs. Zhao Zheng first went to his usual steamed bun shop. "Boss lady, give me 10 meat buns, to go." As his strength increased, his appetite also increased every day, and he had become a very big eater. Actually, he was doing alright. After all, he could sunbathe every day to replenish his energy. Those superhumans with strong physiques and strength were all super gluttons. Okay, the boss lady picked up the buns while frequently looking Zhao Zheng up and down. She felt that this young man was getting more and more handsome, especially today, very attractive, and his physique was really great. If her husband hadn't been there, she would have given Zhao Zheng his meal for free. She'd even add him on WeChat. "Here, your steamed bun." Zhao Zheng took it, scanned the code to pay, and ate as he walked. Even after he was a distance away, the proprietress was still staring at his back. To be precise, her gaze was fixed on Zhao Zheng's buttocks. "Looks good, right?" Suddenly, the owner's voice rang out softly from the side. It startled the proprietress. "Are you trying to kill me? You scared me half to death." The proprietress didn't give her husband a chance to speak, launching into a tirade. "Have you finished your work? Can't you see we're running out of steamed buns? Hurry up and knead the dough." The owner opened his mouth, but ultimately sighed helplessly and went to knead the dough, feeling resentful. Along the way, Zhao Zheng clearly felt that wherever he went, he attracted attention. Especially from the girls. The shy ones would only steal glances, while the bolder ones stared directly at him. Some female hooligans even whistled at him. Sure enough, the netizens were right. Boys need to protect themselves when they're out. Zhao Zheng now completely understood Henry Cavill's troubles. When he arrived at school, his classmates frequently gave him sidelong glances. One of his deskmates couldn't help but ask, "Old Zhao, you never participate in training. Are you secretly going to the gym to work out?" Another classmate directly asked, "Zhao Zheng, how did you get that physique?" Before Zhao Zheng could answer, a sarcastic voice suddenly rang out beside him. "Now I understand why Song Haitang is so devoted to taking you through the spirit realm." This was clearly an insult, implying that Zhao Zheng was a gigolo. Zhao Zheng smiled faintly. "Not convinced? You can try." "Oh, you're too ugly to try." They actually mocked him as a gigolo? To this, Zhao Zheng could only say thank you for acknowledging his good looks. Hearing Zhao Zheng's words, the sarcastic classmate was instantly enraged. His appearance was indeed worrying. Zhao Zheng's words were like a dagger to his heart. Ring ring. At this moment, the bell rang for class. Old Chu walked into the classroom on time. This time, he also brought a laptop and a projector. "Is everyone here?" Old Chu looked around and, seeing no one was absent, said, "Then let's begin the lesson. You have 10 days left before you enter the second level of the spirit realm. There aren't many things to cover about the second level of the spirit realm. It mainly depends on your strength. The background of the second level of the spirit realm is a world similar to ancient my country, but it's desolate, and you can't see any life except for monsters." As Old Chu spoke, he turned on the projector and pointed the lens at a blackboard. Then he connected the laptop to the projector and showed everyone several photos. The photos showed towns and villages from an ancient world, full of Xia dynasty style. You are also not allowed to bring items into the second layer of the spirit realm. These photos were drawn by our ancestors who could paint, based on their memories. The teleportation location is random, but it usually occurs in towns. After entering the spirit realm, it will be evening, and it will be dark in about half an hour, and once it gets dark, monsters will appear. Therefore, you'd better find a suitable weapon in a hiding place within half an hour, before nightfall. For weapons, I suggest you look in blacksmith shops or the houses of wealthy families. We'll talk about the monsters in the second layer of the spirit realm later. The thing you should be most careful of in the spirit realm is people. I'm referring to your fellow superhumans, because the second layer of the spirit realm is also called the plundering spirit realm. P.S. In the movie, Superman only gradually activated his abilities, like flight, until adulthood. This book definitely won't be that late. I hope everyone will stop criticizing me for suppressing the protagonist. Chapter 53, Second Level, Plundering the Spirit Realm. What is plundering the spirit realm? As the name suggests, it's a spirit realm where you can steal the progress of other extraordinary beings' missions. As long as you can kill other extraordinary beings, half of their hard-earned, life-risking mission progress will become yours. Hearing Old Chu's words, most of the students in the classroom were shocked. They probably hadn't expected such a rule to exist in the spirit realm. Even Zhao Zheng was equally astonished. Plundering half of someone else's mission progress? What was the spirit realm trying to do? Was it raising a treacherous spirit? Don't you think this rule of plundering the spirit realm is cruel? Old Chu said calmly, the spirit realm isn't a safe haven. Peace isn't what it wants, only slaughter. That's its eternal theme. The existence of the spirit realm is originally for cultivating strong individuals. This plundering rule will appear in many more spirit realms later on, so you must be mentally prepared. If you can't accept it, then fight your way through the first 10 levels, then retire and never enter the spirit realm again. These words silenced many students. Regardless of the students' thoughts, Old Chu continued lecturing. He manipulated the computer, and a new image was projected onto the blackboard. The image depicted a ferocious, mantis-like monster covered in a hard shell. This is the monster from the second level of the spirit realm, and your main objective upon entering, Old Chu said. This monster is incredibly powerful. According to years of official statistical research, its strength and agility attributes are both around 100 points, making it a fast and powerful monster. Although its vitality isn't particularly strong, its entire exoskeleton is extremely hard. It's practically impervious to blades and spears. If you encounter this monster, be extremely careful of its two forelimbs. They're sharper than scythes. With their speed and strength, a single, gentle slash could cleave you in two from head to tail. Many timid students turned pale with fear. The other students also looked grave, their eyes fixed on the monster image on the blackboard. Only Zhao Zheng looked eager to try. He wanted to know if this monster could break through his defenses. The spirit realm won't drive people to their deaths. Even this kind of monster has weaknesses. Old Chu changed the monster image on the computer and pointed at it, saying, the weakness is here, the monster's abdomen. The monster's entire body is protected by a hard shell, only its abdomen is relatively soft. A sharp blade can pierce through and kill it. Speaking of which, don't you all think of a killer move, a slide tackle? Seeing many students nod, Old Chu immediately said, I advise you not to do that, unless you want to feed the monster to death. Hearing this, Zhao Zheng almost burst out laughing. This Old Chu is quite humorous. However, seeing the other students' serious expressions, he immediately understood that there was no slide over tiger trope on Earth. Old Chu, oblivious to Zhao Zheng's subtle movements, continued, the correct way to deal with this kind of monster is to set a trap, or find a way to turn it upside down, and then attack its abdomen swiftly when it's off guard. Of course, if you have the ability to break through the monster's shell and kill it directly, then you don't need to go through all this trouble. However, doing so is extremely difficult. Even if you have enough strength, this monster won't just stand there and let you hide it. Don't forget, they're also very fast. At this moment, a student raised his hand and asked, Teacher, are we hunting this kind of monster at night? Will our vision be affected? Good question. Old Chu smiled and said, this kind of monster hides underground during the day and only appears after dark. You will indeed need to fight it at night, so obstructed vision is inevitable. But don't worry too much, because time in the spirit realm is different from our world. In the second layer of the spirit realm, it's always a full moon night. The bright moonlight will be enough for you to see the monster's every move clearly. The student nodded and then sat down. Old Chu asked, do any other students have questions? A girl stood up and said, Teacher, I think the ability to steal other people's quest progress in the spirit realm is a huge loophole. If someone keeps stealing other people's quest progress, wouldn't they get unimaginable quest rewards? Could they directly become a god? Hearing this, Old Chu frowned immediately. Which class were you in before? Did your teacher tell you that the rewards for each level of the spirit realm have an upper limit? Just like Song Haitang in the first level of the spirit realm, she killed so many monsters, creating an unprecedented record. but her final reward couldn't exceed 350 spirit energy points. Zhao Zheng, teacher, couldn't I have killed them? I'm sorry, teacher, I forgot, the girl who asked the question said with a look of shame. Old Chu waved his hand, signaling her to sit down, and then continued to ask the others if they had any questions. Seeing no one answer, he continued, there's another thing to note, these monsters don't have very good eyesight, but their hearing is exceptionally sharp, making them extremely sensitive to sound. So, after dark, you must remain quiet, even when killing monsters. Don't shout. If you make a big commotion after dark, congratulations, all the nearby monsters will be attracted, and you'll be surrounded. Hearing this, the students quickly took notes. This was indeed important knowledge. After entering the spirit realm, your mission time is 10 hours. Subtracting the initial half-hour preparation time, you only have 9.5 hours, to hunt monsters within 9.5 hours, and to guard against ambushes from your teammates. It's best to develop a detailed plan with your teammates over the next 10 days and prepare in advance. Next, Old Chu discussed other issues within the spirit realm in great detail. In this lesson, Old Chu demonstrated his meticulousness. His explanation of the monsters was particularly thorough. Even some students who knew about the monsters in the second level of the spirit realm through other channels felt they gained a lot from this lesson. Even Zhao Zheng was satisfied with Lao Chu's teaching attitude. A moment later, the bell rang. Lao Chu, while packing his things, said, "You still have 10 days. In your spare time, you can borrow some weapons from the school storeroom to practice and get used to them before entering the spirit realm, so you don't find yourself unsure how to use them. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me." With that, Lao Chu picked up his things and left the classroom. As soon as he left, the students immediately gathered with their teammates and began discussing. Chapter 54, Entering the Second Layer of the Spirit Realm. After class, Zhao Zheng left the classroom and went straight back to his apartment to catch up on sleep. Meanwhile, after class in the neighboring class A, Song Haitang was called to Teacher Shen's office. "Haitang, the second level of the spirit realm is still very dangerous," Teacher Shen said gently, choosing her words carefully. "Are you going to the spirit realm this time?" Just with Zhao Zheng, her politeness stemmed from two reasons. First, she genuinely believed in Song Haitang's future. Second, she had heard that Director Zhang of the Academic Affairs Office had been dismissed and transferred to the warehouse department for some minor misconduct. And the main reason was this beautiful girl in front of her. Seeing Song Haitang's furrowed brows, Teacher Shen quickly said, "I don't mean to interfere with your team formation. I just want to suggest that you add 2 more teammates this time to make sure you have enough people. That way, you'll have someone to look after you in the spirit realm." Hearing this, Song Haitang knew that Teacher Shen meant well and calmly said, "Teacher, I can't make the decision about team formation. I need to ask Zhao Zheng first." Teacher Shen, "Haitang, are you doing this to compensate Zhao Zheng?" Teacher Shen couldn't help but say, "If you want to compensate him, taking him to the spirit realm is more than enough. There's no need to hand over the team's leadership to him. This could very well harm both of you." Song Haitang didn't refute this, but calmly said, "Teacher, you don't understand." She believed that Zhao Zheng might be hiding a huge secret. Otherwise, she definitely wouldn't have achieved such a record-breaking result in the first level of the spirit realm. However, in Teacher Shen's opinion, this silly girl had clearly fallen in love to an incurable degree. This gave Teacher Shen a real headache. Because this kind of love-struck person is impossible to persuade. Only after she suffers the consequences might she have a sudden realization. Sigh. "Just don't regret it later." Teacher Shen sighed and said nothing more. Leaving Teacher Shen's office, Song Haitang thought for a moment and then simply dialed Zhao Zheng's number. Meanwhile, in the apartment, Zhao Zheng, who was just about to take a nap, was surprised to see Song Haitang's call on his phone. Although they had each other's contact information a long time ago, they rarely called. "Hello," Zhao Zheng answered the phone. "Haitang." Song Haitang's voice came through the phone. "Zhao Zheng, the teacher just talked to me. She suggested we complete our team. What do you think?" The girl was as direct as ever, getting straight to the point. The fact that she brought this up with Zhao Zheng meant she agreed with Teacher Shen's suggestion. She just didn't know Zhao Zheng's situation and thoughts, which was why she called to ask. Zhao Zheng understood what the girl meant. He mentally went through all the classmates he knew, realizing he wasn't very familiar with them, let alone trusted them. After hesitating for a moment, Zhao Zheng said, "I think the most important thing about forming a team is trust. Let's just the 2 of us for now. We can add others later if we find people we can trust. Hearing this, Song Haitang agreed without much thought. Okay, so decisive? Zhao Zheng laughed. Haitang, you trust me that much? Yes. Just like when you trusted me and gave me the flame fruit. This surprised Zhao Zheng, making him feel a little ashamed. After all, exchanging the flame fruit for Kryptonian blood wasn't really about trusting Song Haitang. It was more like he was trying to trick her. I have to go train now, Song Haitang's voice sounded. I'll hang up if there's nothing else. Okay, go ahead and do your work. The call ended. Zhao Zheng held his phone, lost in thought. Song Haitang was working so hard, and he was planning to go back to sleep. Wasn't that a bit much? But what should he do? Training is impossible, absolutely impossible in this lifetime. It doesn't increase attributes, and it's exhausting. I can only make a living by sleeping in. Forget it, time to sleep. Zhao Zheng tossed aside his phone and went to bed. Meanwhile, Song Haitang had just arrived at the training hall when someone approached her. Song Haitang, I'm sorry about what happened last time. I didn't mean to say those things, I wasn't thinking clearly at the time. It was Zhang Heben. He seemed to know Song Haitang came every day and was waiting for her. Faced with Zhang Heben's apology, Song Haitang calmly said, I didn't take it to heart, this was genuine. In the girl's eyes, Zhang Heben's behavior was too childish, and since he hadn't said anything particularly offensive, she didn't bother to argue. That's good, Zhang Heben finally breathed a sigh of relief. Excuse me, I need to go train, Song Haitang added. Wait a minute, Zhang Heben hurriedly said, Song Haitang, this second level of the spirit realm is extremely dangerous. I suggest you team up with us so you can look out for each other. Song Haitang hesitated for a moment, remembering Zhao Zheng's decision, and immediately refused. No need. Zhang Heben thought Song Haitang had misunderstood, and quickly said, don't misunderstand, I'm not asking you to abandon Zhao Zheng and join us. What I mean is, me, Chen Kai, you, and Zhao Zheng, the four of us form a team, with you as the captain. How about that? This suggestion was indeed good. If Song Haitang could make the decision, she might actually agree. After all, Zhang Heben and Chen Kai had excellent talent and abilities, and they had received an A-level rating in the last spirit realm. You guys go and persuade Zhao Zheng first, as long as he agrees. After saying this, Song Haitang walked towards the training room. In the blink of an eye, 10 days passed. On the morning of July 1st, more than 200 freshmen gathered on the school playground. Today was the opening day of the spirit realm, and they gathered here to wait to enter the spirit realm. Besides the students, many teachers also came. However, it wasn't as grand as the first level of the spiritual realm. At least a vice principal wasn't there. Most of the other student teams were full, with 4 people each. Only Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang's team had the fewest members. The two of them stood there all alone. Seeing Song Haitang and Zhao Zheng, who were again a pair, everyone's gazes were quite complicated. They're actually teaming up again this time? They're really bold. Isn't Song Haitang a bit too confident? How, plundering the spirit realm and still daring to play like this? They're doomed. I wonder what kind of results they'll get this time. Results? Just coming back alive is good enough. Their previous results were just luck. Do they really think they have the ability to break records? I also think it's luck, and luck doesn't come every time. Maybe their recklessness this time will come at a high price. You never know. If they not only come back but also get good results again, that would be amazing. Hell, if they get good results again this time, I'll eat shit live on stream. Wait, bro, I remember you. You said the same thing last time. Didn't you get enough? If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55 Song Haitang, I'm definitely not the main force. Silence. A teacher stepped onto the stage and shouted. The students immediately fell silent. The teacher glanced at the time and yelled again, 1 last minute, everyone get ready. Hearing this, everyone on the playground gripped their companions' hands. Zhao Zheng also took Song Haitang's hand. It had been a month since they last held hands, but her hand was still soft. It just seemed a little warmer. Like a hand warmer. Zhao Zheng guessed that it was because the flame fruit's power within her was growing stronger, affecting her body temperature. A girl like that, if used to warm a bed in winter, would definitely be incredibly comfortable, right? After all, this world lacks sunlight, summers weren't very hot, and winters were even colder. Just as Zhao Zheng was lost in thought, the 1-minute countdown quickly ended. The next moment, all the new students on the playground vanished. A flash of white light. When Zhao Zheng regained his sight, the surrounding environment had completely changed. Before him stood an ancient city with a distinctly Xiao dynasty style. Antique and elegant. At first glance, most of the buildings were dilapidated, exuding a strong sense of history, seemingly containing untold stories. Zhao Zheng noticed that some buildings were severely damaged, likely the work of those monsters. However, what attracted the most attention now were the other extraordinary individuals appearing around. There were over 100 of them. Moreover, these extraordinary individuals had different hair and skin colors. It was clear at a glance that they came from all over the world. Except for some special spiritual realms, the teleportation point after entering most spiritual realms, as well as the extraordinary individuals around, were all random. At this moment, these extraordinary individuals from different countries stood in groups of 4, clearly separated. Everyone was silent. Because they were all sizing each other up, their eyes wary. This was a plundering spiritual realm. Apart from their teammates, the other extraordinary individuals were potential enemies or prey. Soon, Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang attracted the attention of these people. This was because everyone else was in groups of 4, while they were in groups of 2. It was very rare for 2 people to form a group. Moreover, the 2 were a handsome man and a beautiful woman, naturally attracting attention. Zhao Zheng disliked being stared at. He pulled Song Haitang and said, "Let's go. Let's find a base first." Song Haitang nodded. The 2 quickly left the area. When no one was around, Song Haitang said with a serious expression, "Zhao Zheng, I just saw a few freshman celebrities." The freshman celebrities she referred to were those freshmen with outstanding talent and abilities, and those who performed exceptionally well in the first level of the spiritual realm. In the last 10 days of last month, Teacher Chu and Teacher Shen both sent important information to their respective students. That important information was collected with considerable time and effort. The content consisted of the most outstanding freshmen of the same year, from various extraordinary universities around the world. Sending such information to the freshmen was to help them avoid them in the spiritual realm. Song Haitang had a good memory. She only read that information a few times and remembered many of the celebrities. There are 2 people worth noting, Song Haitang said. One is Tom Hades from the Ugly Federation. His talent is the Paramecia-type string fruit, a very troublesome fruit ability that can kill silently. Furthermore, Tom Hades received an A-rank mission rating in the first level of the spirit realm. The other is Zhang Qiandan from South Korea. He possesses the mutant knife hand gene. It's said he's incredibly skilled in combat, his hands can stab like knives, and his killing speed is incredibly fast, making him impossible to defend against. Zhang Qiandan also received an A-rank mission rating in the previous level of the spirit realm. Besides their own strength, their teammates are also not to be underestimated. Zhao Zheng was somewhat surprised upon hearing this. He wasn't surprised by the 2 newly minted celebrities Song Haitang mentioned, but rather by the fact that Song Haitang recognized 2 celebrities from among hundreds of superhumans with just a glance. This girl's memory was truly astonishing. "Haitang, your memory is amazing," Zhao Zheng couldn't help but exclaim. He had actually seen the information old Chu had sent. However, he only remembered a few of the stronger guys, he couldn't remember the others at all. "That's not the point," Song Haitang corrected him. "The point is those 2 guys. If we run into them, we need to be careful." Zhao Zheng nodded, but his gaze was somewhat unfocused. Song Haitang immediately noticed his distraction and frowned, asking, "Zhao Zheng, did you discover something?" Wait a minute. Suddenly, the girl seemed to remember something. "The last spirit realm reward, besides the spirit energy points already distributed, we still have a transcendent treasure chest that hasn't been distributed. According to the spirit realm, it's for our main force, but I haven't received any items or hints yet." At this point, the intelligent girl had realized something. She looked at Zhao Zheng. "Zhao Zheng, have you already received a hint from the spirit realm?" Zhao Zheng looked embarrassed. He hadn't expected Song Haitang to be so clever, realizing it so quickly. That's right. He had just received a notification from the spirit realm, which suggested that he could receive the extraordinary treasure chest at any time after confirming that the surroundings were safe. Yes, as soon as Zhao Zheng finished speaking, He immediately chose to receive the extraordinary treasure chest. Instantly, the void in front of him flickered, and then a golden chest appeared out of thin air, enveloped in a ball of light, floating in front of Zhao Zheng. Seeing the extraordinary treasure chest, Song Haitang's expression was complicated, and she turned her gaze to Zhao Zheng. So, the main reason we were able to break the record in the first level of the spirit realm was actually you, she murmured to herself. I knew it. With my abilities, it was impossible to create such a record. Zhao Zheng took the extraordinary treasure chest in his hand and then said, Haitang, actually, the Kryptonian bloodline is not simple. Now, he could only be honest with a girl. Fortunately, Song Haitang was a good person and should be trustworthy. Hearing Zhao Zheng's words, Song Haitang nodded. I can see that. To be able to break the record in the first level of the spirit realm, it must be an extraordinary talent. She paused. Song Haitang suddenly lowered her head and asked softly, so, when you traded the flame fruit for it, it wasn't actually because you already knew the secret of the Kryptonian bloodline? This question made Zhao Zheng instantly break out in a cold sweat. P.S. Thank you all to all my handsome godfathers for your tremendous support. You godfathers are amazing, pushing this book to 7th place on the overall new book chart. This is the second update. The bonus third chapter will be released around noon. Please continue to vote. Don't let me fall off the list. I'll ask the editor later if I can add more chapters. Also, please, godfathers, take a moment to invest in this book. It should be free. The book is doing well right now, so it definitely won't be abandoned. Your investment will also be profitable. Chapter 56 Treating Song Haitang as Prey. Zhao Zheng wasn't stupid. He knew some things should never be said. Some facts should never be admitted. Haitang, you're wrong about that, Zhao Zheng said seriously, his expression grave. How could you doubt my sincerity? Kryptonian blood has long been considered a useless talent. How could I have known beforehand? I just felt that Kryptonian blood is so rare, it must have something special, so I wanted to try and see if I could discover its secret, and I actually discovered it. Hearing Zhao Zheng's words, Song Haitang immediately looked up, her eyes brightening again. Then, the girl smiled radiantly. Okay, I understand. Huh? That's it? Zhao Zheng was somewhat taken aback. Actually, women are sometimes like that, all they need is an attitude. In Song Haitang's view, even if Zhao Zheng was lying to her, at least it showed that she was important to him, and that he lied to avoid disappointing her. That was enough. Not to mention, Zhao Zheng's words made a lot of sense. The Kryptonian bloodline was previously considered a useless talent, lacking any real ability and failing to improve attributes even with training. Unless Zhao Zheng could foresee the future, no normal person would trade the flame fruit for it. Zhao Zheng, let's go. Let's find a base, Song Haitang said. Zhao Zheng couldn't help but ask, Haitang, aren't you curious how I discovered the secret of the Kryptonian bloodline? Song Haitang shook her head. Your discovery of the secret of the Kryptonian bloodline is your skill and your opportunity. It means this talent is destined for you and can only be fully realized in your hands. After a pause, the girl suddenly smiled. Zhao Zheng, I'm very happy right now. Happy about what? Zhao Zheng asked curiously. Song Haitang just smiled but didn't answer why she was happy. Her smile was truly beautiful. Like a fairy in a painting. The originally dark and cold ancient city seemed to have become warmer because of her smile. Zhao Zheng stared at her, somewhat dumbfounded. Afterwards, Zhao Zheng thought for a moment and could vaguely guess what the girl's feelings were. Song Haitang had taken his flame fruit and felt guilty towards him, otherwise, she wouldn't have insisted on bringing him to True Martial University and teaming up with him to enter the spirit realm. Now that Song Haitang had discovered Zhao Zheng was also very strong, this guilt had probably faded considerably. Of course, this was all Zhao Zheng's guess. Actually, Song Haitang's happiness went far beyond this. Wait, Haitang, Zhao Zheng said, let me open the extraordinary treasure chest first and see what's inside. Meanwhile, not far from Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang, another team was also searching for a base. That duo from before, the one with the man and woman, weren't they the two who got an SSS level mission rating last time? Someone in the team suddenly spoke up. It wasn't that this person had a particularly good memory. Rather, Song Haitang and Zhao Zheng's terrifying achievement last time had already caused a sensation worldwide. Photos of Song Haitang were already circulating in various universities. Furthermore, the teachers at various extraordinary academies would warn their freshmen to be extremely careful if they encountered Song Haitang in the spirit realm. Not only was she a user of the flame fruit, but she also achieved an SSS level mission rating in the first level of the spirit realm, laying a very solid foundation. The 350 spirit energy points reward was enough to give her a significant advantage over other freshmen. What? You mean her partner Zhao Zheng? That kind of useless talent is just a gigolo who lives off women. He's not worth worrying about. Let alone the freshman. Even many renowned extraordinary powerhouses had heard of Song Haitang's name. After all, she had created an unprecedented and terrifying record. That's right. It's them. I remember their names. The woman is called Song Haitang, a Logia-type devil fruit user with the flame fruit ability. She's a potential powerhouse. As for that pretty boy, he's just a useless talent. No need to worry about him. I didn't expect them to dare team up in pairs to plunder the spirit realm this time. It seems Song Haitang is very confident in her strength. Hell, I think that woman broke a record by chance and has become too arrogant. Just wait and see. She'll have a hard time leaving the spirit realm alive this time. There were indeed many ill-intentioned guys staring at Song Haitang and her pretty boy just now. They might have already considered them prey. Really? Song Haitang is a strong student among the freshmen, even known as the #1 freshman. Who would dare to mess with her? Her head. If she brought a few powerful teammates, of course no one would dare to provoke her. But the teammate she chose is a useless pretty boy. Who would be afraid of her alone? What a foolish woman, wasting such good talent and foundation. Yes. Song Haitang could have become the king of the spirit realm. Similar conversations echoed in various teams. At this moment, almost all the hundreds of extraordinary individuals in this desolate ancient city were discussing Song Haitang. In fact, many harbored malicious intentions. For example, in the team of Tom Hades, the celebrity Song Haitang had just mentioned, they were making comments targeting Song Haitang. I heard that many members of Congress consider Song a potential threat. Once she grows up, she might change the current situation. Guys, if we can kill her here, will we get rewards from those big shots when we get back? The speaker was a muscular young black man. His words piqued the interest of several of his companions. That woman is formidable. Taking her down won't be easy. We can send her hunting monsters first, and kill her when she's exhausted. There should be quite a few teams eyeing her right now. We can clean up the mess after they've fought each other. Good idea. I have a request. Don't kill that woman yet. I want to taste the flavor of this genius. I hope she can satisfy me. Her head. Quinn, you pervert. There aren't many women who can satisfy you. Tom, what do you think? Hearing the last sentence, the three turned to their captain, Tom Hades. Tom Hades hadn't participated in their conversation from beginning to end. Now he finally spoke. We can give it a try. Zhao Zheng opened the extraordinary treasure chest. When he saw the items in the treasure chest, a look of surprise appeared on his face. P.S. Third update. Thank you for your support, Godfathers. Love you all. I hope you can give me some more votes to keep this book's current ranking. Also, an important announcement, this book may need to be renamed because many readers feel that the title and content don't quite match. We are currently discussing this with the editor. Chapter 57 Old Den. Where is my will-o'-the-wisp stopping? Extraordinary item, Sunset Meteor Pendant, a gemstone necklace made from fragments of a fallen star, imbued with unknown spiritual energy. Wearing it long-term can slowly increase the wearer's mental attributes, approximately 1 point increase every 72 hours. That's right. Inside the extraordinary treasure chest was a necklace. It had to be said, this necklace was quite beautiful. The gemstone pendant in the center sparkled brilliantly. After checking the necklace's information, Zhao Zheng felt disdain. Only 1 point increase in attributes after 3 days? Who did they think they were? Without a second thought, he handed it directly to Song Haitang. Haitang, this is for you. Song Haitang was taken aback, her pretty face showing some surprise. Zhao Zheng, this is your extraordinary item, you're giving it to me, yet. What's the point of me wearing a necklace? If I'm going to wear anything, I'll wear a nouveau riche gold one. I don't want to wear that stuff, Zhao Zheng said, mainly because this necklace is quite pretty, it suits you perfectly. Besides, the amplification effect of this necklace is also quite suitable for you. Although Zhao Zheng's words sounded nice, Song Haitang was still a little reluctant to accept it. This girl wouldn't easily accept things from others. Moreover, she felt that she could never repay the flame fruit Zhao Zheng had given her in her lifetime. Time is running out, don't dawdle, Zhao Zheng forcefully shoved the necklace into Song Haitang's hand and said, "We still have a spirit realm mission." As soon as the necklace was in her hand, relevant information popped up in Song Haitang's left eye. Instantly, a look of surprise appeared on the girl's pretty face. It can actually increase the wearer's mental attributes? Even if it's a slow increase, this is incredible. You know, the training of extraordinary individuals doesn't allow them to continuously increase their attributes. Apart from the initial training having a better effect, the effect gradually weakens in later training. Once one's strength reaches a certain level, or the potential of their innate abilities is exhausted, training will no longer increase attributes. At that point, the only way for extraordinary individuals to gain attributes is to venture into the spirit realm, obtain spirit energy points as a reward, and then use those points to improve their attributes and enhance their strength. However, the spirit realm is fraught with danger. The higher the level of the spirit realm, the greater the danger. Many extraordinary individuals choose to retire because they lack confidence in their strength and fear dying in the spirit realm. If extraordinary individuals knew that there was an extraordinary item that could slowly increase attributes, it would likely drive countless people into a frenzy. Especially those extraordinary individuals whose innate abilities and mental attributes are related. If they knew of the existence of this necklace, they would probably stop at nothing to get their hands on it. Thinking of this, Song Haitang realized the preciousness of this extraordinary necklace. Its value was immeasurable. It could increase mental attributes by 10 points per month, which was more than the results of many extraordinary individuals with poor talent undergoing high-intensity training every day. Zhao Zheng, this is too valuable, Song Haitang insisted. I can't accept it, looking at the girl's stubborn face. Zhao Zheng frowned slightly. This girl's stubborn personality can be quite cute at times, but it can be a bit annoying at times like this. She really seems to be forcing him to use his trump card. Song Haitang, Zhao Zheng suddenly brought up the past. Do you remember what you said to me back in high school when I traded the flame fruit for your Kryptonian bloodline card? Afraid Song Haitang might have forgotten, Zhao Zheng reminded her. You said that after you killed that monster, you would grant me whatever I asked for. I remember, Song Haitang replied, her pretty face slightly flushed. When she said those words back then, she hadn't thought much of it, simply assuming that Zhao Zheng would be an ordinary person who only needed wealth and status. Now, thinking about it, the possibilities were far too numerous. Your vision is truly impressive, Zhao Zheng chuckled. Good that you remember. Then I won't stand on ceremony with you, he continued. I want you to be my wife after you kill that monster. And have a few kids with me. You shouldn't object, right, Song Haitang? I believe you, Song Haitang, are a person of your word. So it's decided then and there, Zhao Zheng continued. Since you're going to be my future wife, then by all accounts, you should be my fiancé now. I really don't need this necklace, so consider it a token of our love. Fiancé. As he finished speaking, Zhao Zheng couldn't help but laugh. This girl is so beautiful, and her conditions are good too. If he could really marry her, his mother, He Wenli, would probably be laughing in her sleep. Oh right. And that old song from last time, he actually secretly warned him not to steal from his own wife? Hell. The next time he sees old song, Zhao Zheng plans to say, old then. Where's my will-o'-the-wisp? At this moment, Song Haitang's pretty face was as red as a ripe apple. She lowered her head slightly, looking at the ground as if searching for ants. Zhao Zheng's words had a significant impact on her. She didn't know if this counted as a secret engagement. In any case, she was currently in a state of turmoil, her mind a complete mess, utterly at a loss. Just then, a notification popped up in her left eye. Basic task, survive for 10 hours. Main task, kill monsters. Hint, the more monsters you kill within 10 hours, the higher your task rating. Note, in the plundering spirit realm, killing other extraordinary individuals will grant you 50% of their task progress. The task is here, Zhao Zheng immediately said. According to the teacher, it will be completely dark in about half an hour. We need to find a good base as soon as possible. Let's go. Okay, Song Haitang agreed, her voice a little soft. Then she followed Zhao Zheng away. As for the extraordinary necklace in her hand, she didn't refuse to return it to Zhao Zheng. A moment later, Zhao Zheng, who was walking, suddenly slowed down. Song Haitang, who was following behind him, was lost in thought and bumped into him absent-mindedly. Zhao Zheng, Song Haitang asked, puzzled. Zhao Zheng remained expressionless and continued walking, then whispered, watch your right. Don't turn around at 4 o'clock. Someone is following us. Upon hearing this, Song Haitang instantly snapped back to reality. Her rational mind returned to its former height. She listened intently and indeed heard footsteps. Actually, Song Haitang's mental attributes were now much higher than Zhao Zheng's. And mental attributes could enhance the six senses: hearing, sight, and smell. It was just that she had been lost in thought and completely absent-minded, thus ignoring her surroundings. Now that she had regained her composure, she immediately sensed that there were quite a few footsteps following them. Song Haitang immediately frowned. Seeing this, Zhao Zheng whispered, "Don't worry, let them follow." He had a smile on his face. It was just a cold smile. He'd definitely accept any help from people who wanted to send him progress updates. The book title will probably be changed tomorrow, so don't be surprised if you see a new one. The next chapter is still being revised. I wasn't entirely satisfied with the previous version, so the update will likely be late. I suggest you read it tomorrow. Chapter 58, Monster Attack. Actually, those who followed them weren't necessarily malicious. After all, Song Haitang and Zhao Zheng had made a name for themselves in the first level of the spirit realm. With such a reputation, it's normal for their every move to attract attention. Regardless of why Song Haitang insisted on bringing a pretty boy along, at least she must have some extraordinary abilities to achieve such a record. These people might have just come to observe their actions in the spirit realm, and if they could learn something, they would. In modern terms, this is called the celebrity effect. As for why many superhumans felt that Zhao Zheng was a gigolo and not a big threat? In reality, Zhao Zheng obtained 350 spiritual energy points. If all of them were added to his attributes, his current total attributes would probably already surpass those of most new superhumans. The reason why people felt Zhao Zheng wasn't a threat was because, in everyone's perception, Kryptonian bloodlines not only don't increase attributes through training, but also lack any offensive capabilities. The presence or absence of offensive capabilities, or the strength of those capabilities, makes a huge difference to superhumans. For example, would giving an ordinary person 350 points of strength be the same as giving a werewolf 350 points of strength? A werewolf's single claw sweep might kill an ordinary person. And werewolf bloodlines aren't even ranked high among extraordinary abilities, they were only powerful in the early stages. Many extraordinary abilities greatly enhance combat power. Like Song Haitang. Her burning flame ability can amplify attribute damage many times over, making it difficult for other newcomers to withstand. If the four basic attributes are the only way for extraordinary individuals to improve their strength, then extraordinary abilities are the foundation of their survival. Having strength without extraordinary attack methods greatly reduces their threat. Moreover, as long as one can obtain a B-level mission rating in the first level of the spiritual realm, and considering their usual training, their current total attributes aren't that far behind Zhao Zheng's. Combined with powerful extraordinary abilities, defeating Zhao Zheng is not difficult at all. Another important point is that an ordinary person with 350 spiritual energy points cannot simply allocate all points to strength or agility. Powerful strength. A strong physique is required. Even the spiritual energy points in the spirit realm must adhere to this basic fact. After all, this is a real world, not a game. Can an ordinary body with only 10 points in constitution deliver a punch with 350 times the force? Is that even possible? The body would probably fall apart before the punch is even thrown. Constitution, while seemingly insignificant among the four attributes, is an unavoidable one. No matter what attribute you add, you must add constitution first. For attributes like strength and constitution, the minimum ratio should be around 50%. That means to add 300 points of strength, you need to add 150 points of constitution first. Only then will your body not collapse when you deliver 30 times the force. Agility and constitution should have a minimum ratio of 20%. To achieve 300 points of agility, you need at least 60 points of constitution beforehand. This way, your body can withstand the powerful wind resistance when running at 30 times the speed. The ratio of mental and physical attributes is the lowest, only 5%. This is why, when everyone trains, whether they train strength, agility, or mental attributes, physical attributes also increase. According to this formula, Zhao Zheng has 350 spiritual energy points. If he wants to develop in the direction of strength, he can only increase strength by a maximum of 233 points. The remaining 117 spiritual energy points need to be added to physical attributes. If Zhao Zheng wants to pursue a strength and agility route, his attack power will be even weaker. All things considered, how much of a threat is Zhao Zheng? This is the real reason why many of the stronger freshmen don't take Zhao Zheng seriously. Of course, what these people don't know is that Zhao Zheng's true attributes far exceed their imagination, terrifyingly so. A dozen minutes later, Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang stood outside a relatively well-preserved building. This was a rather large mansion, covering an area of at least 1,000 square meters. The outer wall was very high, and the gate was also tall and large. A truly prestigious and wealthy family. Presumably, the previous owner of this place was a prominent figure in the city. Besides, this mansion is situated at the highest point in the entire city, almost built on a large earthen slope. Just standing at the gate, one can take in the view of most of the city. This place is great, Zhao Zheng nodded in satisfaction. Haitang, let's make this our base for tonight, are you sure? Song Haitang couldn't help but frown. Why do I feel like this place is a conspicuous target? The highest point in the entire city, isn't that a conspicuous target? Zhao Zheng didn't explain further, only smiling and saying, I definitely won't cheat you. Trust me this time. Since he said that, what could Song Haitang say? After all, she had even accepted his token of love. Okay, I trust you, Song Haitang said immediately. Zhao Zheng smiled. It's getting late, let's go inside. With that, he pushed open the gate and went inside. Song Haitang followed calmly. Not far away, a group of people were astonished and puzzled to see Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang choose such a place as their base. Then, they dispersed slowly, each with their own purpose. After entering the mansion, Zhao Zheng led Song Haitang on a tour of every corner to familiarize themselves with the environment. To Zhao Zheng's surprise, a huge indoor martial arts arena had been built on the north side of the mansion. It resembled a sturdy bunker. Furthermore, numerous weapons were displayed in the arena, swords, spears, clubs, and all sorts. Good. This place is great, Zhao Zheng's expression grew increasingly satisfied. Haitang, do you want to choose a weapon? He called out to Song Haitang. Song Haitang replied, my ability is fire, I can be bare-handed. Weapons would only be a burden. Zhao Zheng nodded and went to choose a weapon himself. However, those swords, spears, and clubs were far too light for him now. Zhao Zheng's current strength attribute had exceeded 660 times that of an ordinary person. The weapons here, one by one, were all too light and brittle for him. After much deliberation, only a pair of golden drum hammers could barely give him any weight. Each of these hammers weighed nearly 200 jin, approximately 100 caddies, so the pair must have weighed over 350 jin, approximately 175 caddies. Even so heavy, Zhao Zheng could easily toss them around like toys. Seeing this, Song Haitang couldn't help but ask, Zhao Zheng, is the talent of your Kryptonian bloodline strength-based? No, Zhao Zheng smiled and said, it's all around. As soon as he finished speaking, a monster's howl suddenly came from the distance. Woo! Zhao Zheng was startled and immediately went outside the training ground with Song Haitang. It turned out that it was already dark. I know that some big shots will criticize me for this chapter being too long, but there are just too many who have raised questions, so I have to dedicate a chapter to explaining. Oh well, consider this a non-normal update, and I'll update another chapter for you all during the day. How sincere is this? Chapter 59 Plan A, Massacre. A bright moon hung overhead. Its radiant light illuminated the earth, making the night in the spirit realm far from dark. In fact, it was even brighter than the previous evening. Old Chu was right. This environment didn't significantly affect visibility. Especially for extraordinary individuals like Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang, with their high mental attributes, it was practically unaffected. Zhao Zheng, something's wrong with the moon, Song Haitang suddenly said. Zhao Zheng was startled, looking up at the sky and carefully examining the bright moon. After a while, he finally noticed that the edge of the moon was faintly reddish. The red was very faint and sparse, almost invisible without close inspection. Is the color wrong? Zhao Zheng said. I think I see an abnormal red, Song Haitang said. Besides the color being wrong, the moonlight seems to be affecting our minds, making us bloodthirsty. Hearing this, Zhao Zheng's expression immediately turned serious. He carefully sensed it and indeed found that the blood in his body was flowing faster. Not only that, but his emotions also underwent a slight change, shifting towards irritability and bloodlust. With his current extremely high attributes, he was fully capable of sensing the subtle changes in his body. Interesting, Zhao Zheng looked up at the moon again. He smiled, but his eyes contained a hint of apprehension. The moon should be fine, the problem must be the red light. What exactly was that terrifying existence? Was it devouring the moon? Was it related to the entity on Earth that was devouring stars? Many questions instantly flooded Zhao Zheng's mind. Of course, no one could answer these questions, he could only figure them out himself. He believed that when his strength reached unparalleled levels, all the truths would be revealed to him. Never mind that, let's focus on fighting the monster. Let's finish early and call it a day, Zhao Zheng said casually. Song Haitang glanced at him, nodded, and remained silent. At this moment, a commotion suddenly came from outside the courtyard. A moment later, a ferocious and terrifying monster appeared at the headmaster's door. The monster resembled a praying mantis and somewhat a spider, with 4 legs for walking and a pair of sickle-like forelimbs for hunting prey. Its enormous abdomen dragged on the ground. Strangely, its upper body was remarkably similar to a human torso. Especially its face, which was almost identical to humans, possessing the same features. Of course, there were differences. The monster's eyes were completely black, and its mouth was filled with sharp teeth, giving it a sinister and terrifying appearance. Most striking were its enormous, protruding ears, clearly indicating a monster with exceptional hearing. The monster's entire body was covered in thick armor, seemingly without any obvious weaknesses. It was almost identical to the picture old Shu had shown in the classroom. However, the real monster was far more terrifying than the one in the photo, with a much greater visual impact. Poof! Flames erupted. Seeing the monster appear, Song Haitang immediately prepared to attack. Wait, Haitang, Zhao Zheng suddenly said, let me test this monster's strength first. Hearing this, Song Haitang extinguished the flames. Their actions had already attracted the monster's attention. Seeing 2 living people, the monster roared and charged. Song Haitang suddenly looked surprised. She saw Zhao Zheng had actually thrown away the pair of large hammers and was walking towards the monster empty-handed. What was he planning? While Song Haitang was puzzled, Zhao Zheng suddenly stood still, letting the monster pounce on him. The monster showed no mercy. In its eyes, humans were merely prey. And they hadn't seen prey in a long time, and were starving. Seeing its prey now, it only wanted to quickly tear it to pieces and devour it. Whoosh! A sound of air being cut rang out. The monster raised its scythe-like right arm and slashed horizontally towards Zhao Zheng's abdomen. The blade gleamed coldly in the moonlight. It could slice through not only a human body, but even the courtyard wall with a single stroke. Zhao Zheng, seeing that Zhao Zheng didn't even try to dodge, Song Haitang cried out in alarm. Unfortunately, it was too late for her to intervene. She could only watch helplessly as the monster's scythe-like arm slashed at Zhao Zheng. Clang! A crisp impact rang out. Zhao Zheng stood rooted to the spot, motionless. The monster's scythe-like arm, however, was deflected by the force of the impact, causing it to stagger back several steps. This scene left Song Haitang stunned. Zhao Zheng, on the other hand, wore a gleeful smile. A body of steel. Truly awesome. He hadn't even felt the slightest pain. Woo! The monster let out a strange cry and lunged at Zhao Zheng again. It seemed somewhat defiant. This time, the monster unleashed a barrage of attacks with both arms. Blades flew wildly. Clang clang clang. The crisp impact echoed throughout the mansion. Anyone who didn't know better would have thought it was a blacksmith's shop. Unfortunately, even with the monster's best efforts, it only managed to tear Zhao Zheng's clothes. Let alone tear Zhao Zheng to pieces. It couldn't even leave a scratch on Zhao Zheng's skin. PFFT. Suddenly, a cracking sound rang out. The attacking monster froze instantly, and after a few seconds, it slowly collapsed to the ground. Upon closer inspection, the monster's head had disappeared at some point. It was Zhao Zheng who had casually punched the monster's head, shattering it. What invulnerable carapace. In the face of absolute power, it was all trash. Haitang, I think I just heard you calling me. Zhao Zheng returned to Song Haitang's side, picked up the pair of golden hammers from the ground, and asked, is something wrong? Song Haitang pursed her thin lips and said, it's nothing. She paused. The girl couldn't help but ask again, are you alright? You were attacked by the monster so many times just now. I'm fine. Zhao Zheng spread his hands. Besides the tears in my clothes, do you see any wounds on my body? Zhao Zheng's clothes had already been torn in many places by the monster, especially the front. As he spread his hands, he inadvertently revealed his chest and abdominal muscles. The faintly visible muscle lines made Song Haitang blush and quickly turn her head away. It's alright, Zhao Zheng also realized he had exposed himself, smiled, straightened his clothes, and said, "I'm fine, but those monsters are in trouble. Haitang, let's execute Plan A." Since he had already tested the monsters' attacks and found they posed no threat to him, there was no need to hide anything. He could be completely bold. Plan A? Song Haitang was completely confused. Zhao Zheng hadn't told her about any Plan A. Plan A is slaughter. The third update is here, which is equivalent to another bonus update. It's rare to see a book like this during the new book season. Dear readers, please give me some votes for my sincere efforts. I'm about to be pushed off the new book charts. Chapter 60 Madness. Monsters detonate across the city. Thump. A huge iron bell was easily moved into the courtyard by Zhao Zheng. Seeing this, Song Haitang immediately understood Zhao Zheng's plan. The girl's eyes widened, her face full of surprise. "Zhao Zheng, you plan to use this to lure all the monsters here?" "Yes," Zhao Zheng was setting up the iron bell, casually explaining, "those monsters are too weak. I'm too lazy to find them one by one. I'll just lure them all here and slaughter them all in one go, that's it." Hearing this, Song Haitang felt a little dizzy. Good heavens. You're making it sound too simple, aren't you? But judging from Zhao Zheng's expression, he wasn't joking at all. Were those monsters really that weak? She muttered to herself. Zhao Zheng heard her and asked, "Weren't they weak?" Song Haitang glanced at Zhao Zheng, speechless. The monsters in the second level of the spiritual realm were not only fast, but also powerful. Combined with their scythe-like arms, they were definitely a nightmare for most freshmen. Not to mention, this monster also has a sturdy carapace, impervious to blades and spears. Killing one of these monsters would likely require the coordinated efforts of an entire team. Even Song Haitang wouldn't dare to be careless in the face of such a monster. But this monster. Zhao Zheng used the adjective too weak. Song Haitang knew it wasn't that the monster was weak, but that Zhao Zheng was too strong. She finally understood. How had they managed to kill over 2,000 monsters in the first level of the spirit realm last time? Alright, while Song Haitang was lost in thought, Zhao Zheng had already set up and secured the bell. Then, Zhao Zheng pointed to the training ground and said, "Haitang, the massacre party is about to begin. Do you want to go inside and hide for a bit? I'm afraid the monster's blood will splatter on you." Actually, he was worried about Song Haitang's safety. The outer walls of this training ground were quite thick. Hiding inside should be safer. Song Haitang understood Zhao Zheng's meaning and shook her head, saying, "No need, I can protect myself." Zhao Zheng glanced at the girl, and seeing her insistence, nodded, "Alright." Anyway, he was there. With his current speed, even if Song Haitang was in danger, he could rescue her immediately. "By the way, Haitang," Zhao Zheng seemed to remember something and said, "your mental attributes are higher than mine, and you're more observant. If you find any other superhumans coming, remember to notify me immediately." Song Haitang immediately understood Zhao Zheng's intention. "Okay," the girl agreed without hesitation. She completely understood Zhao Zheng's desire to keep his strength a secret. After all, there were still surviving Kryptonian bloodline talents. If it were her, she might have done the same. Seeing the girl's quick agreement, Zhao Zheng smiled. No wonder she's his chosen wife. So obedient. Afterwards, Zhao Zheng went to the large iron bell, picked up the giant log beside it, and gently bumped it against it. He didn't dare to use any force. Fearing they might accidentally break the bell, a deafening clang rang out. In the still moonlit night, the sound was piercingly loud. The bell echoed through the night sky, seemingly from ancient times, quickly spreading throughout the entire city. Meanwhile, somewhere in the city, a team from Japan was cautiously preparing in the darkness. On the street before them, a monster wandered aimlessly. This monster was their target. They had spent the last month practicing coordinated tactics to kill the monsters in the second level of the spiritual realm, enduring countless hardships. All for a good performance tonight. If they could successfully kill some monsters and bring them back, it would all be worthwhile. At this moment, the monster seemed attracted by the sound of the wind and turned its head to look in another direction. Because of this, the monster's massive belly was now directly in front of the team. The team immediately realized their opportunity had arrived. They exchanged glances and rushed out from the shadows. Just as they were about to attack the monster, suddenly, clang, a loud bell rang out from afar. The monster was immediately startled, howling as it charged towards the sound. In the blink of an eye, it vanished. Several men who were about to attack were left bewildered in the wind. Baka, a Japanese soldier cursed angrily. Where did that bell come from? His words had barely left his lips when clang, another bell rang out, echoing over the city. The four men weren't idiots. They immediately realized something was wrong. Could someone be using the bell to attract the monsters? Who would do that? Aren't they afraid of being surrounded by countless monsters? A madman. Definitely a madman. Hearing the bell ringing continuously, the men angrily discussed among themselves. At this moment, their captain seemed to realize something, his expression changing. Not good, get out of the way. With that, the captain darted into the darkness beside him. The other three teammates, after a brief moment of surprise, understood and quickly followed suit. Sure enough, less than 5 seconds after they hid, the howls of monsters echoed from nearby. Woo! Woo! 5 or 6 monsters came running past them down the street, frantically rushing towards the direction of the bell. Seeing this, the Japanese soldiers were terrified. They didn't dare show their faces. After waiting a long time and seeing no further signs of monsters, they finally dared to peek out from the darkness, quickly leaving the area and disappearing into a nearby house, finally breathing a sigh of relief. Afterwards, the four of them gathered together to discuss their next move. Damn it! Which bastard lured all the monsters together? How are we supposed to kill them now? One of the Japanese soldiers, with a small mustache and shifty eyes, cursed. Upon hearing this, the other three also looked grim. Although the spirit realm wouldn't punish them for failing to kill any monsters, such as annihilation, how could they accept returning empty-handed after so much preparation? If I ever run into such an idiot, I'll have to commit seppuku, rip out his heart and chop it to pieces to vent my rage. Hearing this, another Japanese soldier said, "To-san, the idiot who attracts monsters will definitely be killed by them." "You won't see him." The young man named To-san immediately slammed his fist on the ground in anger. "What a despicable fellow. Stop talking nonsense," the third Japanese soldier said. "Our current problem is that there are no monsters to hunt. We might go back empty-handed this time." "No. I can't accept that." To-san looked at the last young man and asked, "Anu-kun, what should we do? You're the captain, please give us some advice." Anu looked in the direction the bell was echoing, pondered for a moment, and then said in a deep voice, "I'm going to go take a look." Chapter 61 Superman? No. I am the ancestor of the demon god. I'm going to go see what's going on over there, Anu said, turning to his teammates. "What about you guys? Want to come along? If you choose to give up and stay here, I can understand. After all, that place is full of monsters now, it's too dangerous to go there." As soon as he finished speaking, the Japanese boy from Tusang immediately stood up and said without hesitation, "Captain, I'm going with you." The remaining two hesitated for a moment before making their decisions. Me too, seeing his teammates agree, Anu smiled. "Very good. You truly are worthy of being the partners I, Inu, chose. I believe that as long as we work together, no difficulty can stop us. Tonight we will definitely have a great harvest and become the #1 team in the spirit realm." The Japanese word, Ichiban, primarily means most or first, implying the highest degree or being the first in order. After making their decision, the four immediately set off, cautiously approaching the direction from which the bell had just rung. They dared not move too fast, fearing a monster might suddenly leap out from the darkness. For newcomers, the monsters in the second layer of the spiritual realm were still terrifying. If Inu and his companions were unprepared and caught off guard by the monsters, even if they weren't wiped out, they would suffer heavy losses. Therefore, they needed to remain highly cautious and proceed with extreme care. After walking for a good 10 minutes, they finally found the source of the bell's sound, a mansion situated on relatively high ground. This was only because they were relatively close. When they climbed onto the roof of an outer building and saw the scene before them, they were instantly stunned and dared not take another step closer. Because, as far as the eye could see, the entire mountainside was filled with monsters. There were at least 1,000 of them. Especially near the mansion, it was surrounded by a large number of monsters, too many to count. With so many monsters here, who would dare to approach? "It's actually here," the little Japanese soldier from Tusang couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. Upon hearing this, Anu immediately turned to Tusang and asked, "You know this place?" "Yes, Captain," Tusang replied. "The Song Haitang and Her Gigolo you asked me to monitor are based in that mansion." "Huh?" Anu was astonished. "They lured all the monsters here? Are they crazy?" He stared intently at the mansion, seemingly trying to discern something. However, The mansion was built on a large earthen slope, its foundation higher than ordinary houses, and with the high walls, it was impossible to see what was happening inside from the outside. Suddenly, a massive ball of flame shot into the sky from the mansion. Although the flame was fleeting, its sheer intensity still shocked anew. The area around the mansion had been illuminated, turning crimson. It really was them, Song Haitang, Anu gritted his teeth. Who else could unleash such a flame but Song Haitang with her flame fruit powers? Can Song Haitang handle so many monsters? Tu Sang asked, his face full of doubt and surprise. Her strength is terrifying, no. I think they must have found a terrain that's easy to defend and difficult to attack. The monsters can't swarm in, so Song Haitang can only harvest them one by one, a Japanese soldier said. This statement was met with agreement from everyone. Because it was the most reasonable explanation. Otherwise, they were all freshmen, and they had to be careful even to kill a single monster. How could Song Haitang single-handedly take on thousands of monsters? They had only received extraordinary opportunities from the Holy Land 2 months ago, the difference couldn't be that great. It wasn't just Anu and his group who had similar thoughts. Like Anu and his group, many freshman teams were hiding in the darkness, secretly observing the mansion. All the monsters in the city had been lured away by the bell. If these freshmen didn't want to come away empty-handed, they could only head in the direction of the bell to investigate. Many people had seen the huge ball of flame just now. Everyone agreed that it was Song Haitang hunting monsters. Furthermore, everyone's opinion was roughly the same. Song Haitang had found an easy defensive position, exploiting a bug to prevent the monsters from ganging up on her, allowing her to hunt them so easily. With Song Haitang's current attributes, coupled with her powerful flame fruit ability, in a one-on-one fight, the monsters were indeed no match for her. After all, while the monsters' shells were hard, they might not be able to withstand fire damage. Meanwhile, in the courtyard north of the mansion, a terrifying battle was indeed taking place. However, the actual situation was completely different from what the new students imagined. Whoosh! Whoosh! A muscular man, wielding 2 hammers, swung them with incredible power. Each hammer blow sent the earth trembling. Like a celestial general. Those terrifying monsters, impervious to swords and spears, were utterly helpless before this powerful figure. A casual hammer blow from the divine general could blast a monster to pieces, like being hit by a cannonball, its dark green blood and chunks of flesh scattering everywhere. It was truly instant death upon contact. 1 hammer, 1 kill. As for overwhelming Zhao Zheng with sheer numbers? Monsters have done that before. But Zhao Zheng wasn't afraid at all. In fact, he seemed to quite enjoy being surrounded by monsters. It made him kill even faster. He'd swing his massive iron hammer and unleash a devastating sweep across the army, killing any monsters surrounding him. He'd even charge into the monster horde, wreaking havoc. Sorry. With a body of steel, he could do whatever he wanted. As for Song Haitang, she mostly slacked off. Occasionally she'd set a fire or provide some support. It wasn't that she wanted to be lazy, she just couldn't get any monsters. Her fiancé was practically a one-dimensional warrior, not only incredibly strong and invincible in defense, but also terrifyingly fast. Zhao Zheng alone was a merciless meat grinder. No matter how many monsters came, they weren't enough for him to slaughter. In less than half an hour, at least 1,000 monsters had been hammered to death by Zhao Zheng. The spacious courtyard was filled with monster corpses, the stench of blood filling the air. Song Haitang was stunned. She couldn't even tell which of the monsters, Zhao Zheng or these monsters, was the real one. Woo! Suddenly, a monster seemed terrified by Zhao Zheng, letting out a mournful cry before turning and running away. The other monsters, as if receiving a signal, fled in droves. Zhao Zheng, caught up in the killing frenzy, was utterly astonished. Why are they running away? He now wielded 2 hammers, covered in blood. His killing intent palpable. He truly resembled a patriarch of demon gods. Second update, the final climax of this dungeon is approaching, probably 2 or 3 more chapters to go. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62 Who is the real monster? These monsters can actually run away. Seeing the fleeing monsters, demon god Zhao Zheng frowned. Actually, with Zhao Zheng's speed, Catching up with these monsters wouldn't be difficult at all. It's just that the monsters were scattering in all directions. Even if Zhao Zheng chased, he could only follow a single line, unable to kill many. At this moment, he threw away his hammer and punched a group of monsters running away. A fist wind impact. Bang! The air exploded. The intense fist wind, like countless blades, gathered together, forming a suffocating torrent that rushed towards the monsters. PFFT PFFT PFFT. 5 or 6 monsters in front were instantly shredded into pieces. Song Haitang watched in horror. Zhao Zheng himself frowned and sighed. My strength is still too weak. He was just expressing his feelings. If he were as strong as Garp, he could simply jump into the air and unleash a fist-bone impact to wipe out all the fleeing monsters, even destroying this ancient city. However, these words only left Song Haitang speechless. Having only been a superhuman for 2 months, he already possessed such terrifyingly superior strength, and he was still not satisfied? If Zhao Zheng used that move on her, she would probably die instantly, right? After all, she couldn't yet elementalize with fire. Her body certainly couldn't withstand it. At this moment, the monster had already disappeared. Zhao Zheng didn't continue the pursuit and asked, Haitang, approximately how many monsters did I just kill? 1,372. The girl gave a precise number. Zhao Zheng was taken aback. He admired Song Haitang's memory and attentiveness. Then, he frowned and said, only a little over 1,300? Is that enough for a perfect mission evaluation? Our combined mission progress should be 1,401 monsters, and I just killed 29. As she finished speaking, the girl's pretty face flushed slightly, a little embarrassed. After all, the number of monsters she killed was a fraction of Zhao Zheng's, and they were mostly just finishing off the leftovers. He had originally thought. After entering the spirit realm, she was the one who carried Zhao Zheng to safety. Unexpectedly, it was Zhao Zheng who carried her. Oh, Zhao Zheng immediately encouraged her, very good, if that's the case, our mission progress is at least at a breakpoint, we should be able to get a perfect mission rating, right? Song Haitang didn't respond to this. Because she didn't know if this number of monsters killed would be enough for a perfect mission rating. If only all these monsters were fearless. If I killed them all, I'd definitely get a perfect mission rating, Zhao Zheng sighed. Song Haitang thought for a moment and said, these monsters have a certain level of intelligence, it's normal that they were scared out of their wits and chose to run away. Meanwhile, outside the mansion, seeing the monsters retreat like a tide, all fleeing, the guys hiding in the shadows were all greatly surprised. What's going on? Those monsters seem a little scared, you're seeing things. How could these terrifying monsters feel fear? Then why are these monsters fleeing the mansion? Maybe it's because they couldn't conquer it after a long siege and didn't want to make pointless sacrifices, so they chose to leave. What do we do now? Avoid these monsters first. Similar conversations echoed in various dark corners. Then, everyone discovered that many figures were emerging from the surrounding darkness and hiding inside the houses. That white pig just now looked like Tom Hades, Tu Sang said. A Japanese soldier next to him added, there are at least 3 teams hiding to the left. Anu frowned upon hearing this, showing no surprise. He had expected his comrades to join in the fun. Captain, what do we do? A teammate asked. Anu made the same choice as everyone else, which was also the most correct one. Let's go inside and hide, and avoid these monsters first. Everyone came down from the roof and hid inside the houses. Thump, thump, thump. They had barely hidden themselves when they heard countless rumbling sounds coming from afar, rapidly approaching. Inu and the others knew it was the footsteps of the monster army. They were immediately terrified, barely daring to breathe, afraid of being discovered by the passing monsters. In fact, their worries were completely unnecessary. At this moment, the monsters had no interest in observing their surroundings for prey, they only wanted to escape this place as quickly as possible, to escape that great demon king. They could endure hunger, but staying would be fatal. In just a few breaths, the monster army quickly left the area, disappearing into the darkness further away. Only after realizing the monster army had gone far away did the new students dare to peek out slightly to check the situation. Inside the mansion. Those monsters are gone. Zhao Zheng, what do we do next? Song Haitang asked, her delicate brows slightly furrowed. There were simply too many monster corpses around, the stench overwhelming and extremely unpleasant. Let's go, Zhao Zheng said. It stinks here. Let's find a cleaner place first. Song Haitang nodded. She wholeheartedly agreed with Zhao Zheng's suggestion. She was a clean person, and this environment made her uncomfortable. Haitang, wait a moment. I need to disguise this place and then look for clothes in the surrounding rooms, Zhao Zheng said, beginning to disguise the scene. He mainly moved most of the monsters' corpses to the side of the training ground and had Song Haitang set them on fire before looking for clean clothes. He was covered in blood, and his clothes were torn beyond recognition by the monster. He desperately needed cleaning. A moment later, Zhao Zheng searched through the rooms and actually found clothes. However, they were all ancient clothing. Of course, he could only make do with them for now. He took off his blood-stained clothes and changed into a cleaner ancient robe. When Zhao Zheng reappeared in front of Song Haitang, he looked like a refined scholar. Haitang, do I look like an ancient scholar? Zhao Zheng asked with a smile. Song Haitang reminded him, Zhao Zheng, you can't bring anything into the spirit realm this time, and you can't take anything out of the spirit realm either. The clothes you're wearing might automatically come off when you're teleported back after the mission ends. Zhao Zheng was taken aback and slapped his forehead. I almost forgot, but he wasn't worried. He had only taken off his shirt. He hadn't changed his pants or underwear. Even if he was naked when he was teleported back, it would only be his upper body, which wasn't a big deal for a man. Let's leave it at that for now. Haitang, let's go. The two left together. The moment they stepped out of the mansion, they immediately sensed that many eyes were watching them from the darkness. Zhao Zheng, there are quite a few people around, Song Haitang whispered. Zhao Zheng chuckled coldly, ignore them, let's go. These new students probably didn't have any mission progress on them, and Zhao Zheng had no interest in them whatsoever. Chapter 63 The Decisive Moment, The Last Hour. Zhao Zheng led Song Haitang to the western district of the city. The two didn't try using the bell again to track the monsters, knowing it would likely be useless. Since the monsters here possessed some intelligence and had already been thoroughly frightened, the chances of them falling for it again were extremely slim. Afterwards, Zhao Zheng chose a large mansion as a temporary resting place. The reason for choosing this location was its garden. Although the flowers and plants had long since withered and were bare, some of the garden's furnishings, such as the artificial hill and pavilion, remained. Combined with the bright moonlight, the scenery was quite pleasant. Most importantly, the mansion was surrounded by low-rise houses, many of which had collapsed due to years of neglect, making them difficult to hide in. Song Haitang immediately understood Zhao Zheng's intention. Zhao Zheng, you chose this place to wait for those people to come knocking? Zhao Zheng smiled and said, after we leave that mansion, they'll definitely check things out. Seeing how many monsters we've killed and how much progress we've made on the quest, do you think they'll be able to resist? So, no matter where we are, as long as they get greedy, they'll come looking for us. Since we're destined to fight, I definitely need to choose a location that's advantageous to us. These words silenced Song Haitang. She knew Zhao Zheng was absolutely right. Of course, it would be even better if they didn't bother us. Zhao Zheng's guess was spot on. Not long after he and Song Haitang left, some people couldn't resist and went to the mansion to check things out. The first team to check was Tom Hades' group. When the four entered the north courtyard and saw the scene inside, which resembled a hellish inferno, they were immediately shocked. A huge gift of crabs. How many monsters did they kill? This is unbelievable, damn it. I want to know how they did it, except for Captain Tom, the other three exclaimed in surprise. The black man, in particular, was the most exaggerated, constantly making strange noises. After some investigation, they realized they had been misled by Zhao Zheng's staged scene and had drawn their own conclusions. I think I found the answer. A young white man pointed to the entrance of the training ground and analyzed seriously. This strange building has very sturdy outer walls. Those two must have been hiding inside, using the terrain to kill so many monsters. Look over here, guys. These monsters all have burn marks on their bodies. It must be Song's handiwork. The black man and another fat white man nodded repeatedly. Only Captain Tom remained silent. This guy seemed to be a quiet, reserved person. Looking at these corpses, they must have killed at least 1,000 monsters. The black man's eyes gleamed. If we can kill them and seize their mission progress, even just half, it will be a huge success. At least it will give us a mission rating beyond S rank. Beyond S rank. That's SS rank, or even SSS rank. Perfect. Upon hearing this, the white youth and the fat white man became excited. Even Captain Tom was tempted. However, Captain Tom was more rational, saying, That woman was able to kill so many monsters, which means her strength is greater than we imagined. To deal with her, we need help, Captain Tom. I have a different opinion, the white youth said. Precisely because they killed so many monsters. Their stamina and energy must have been greatly depleted. Perhaps they are at their weakest right now. Tom's face turned cold, and he said bluntly, "Idiot. Open your eyes and look carefully. There are thousands of monster corpses here. Do you think they didn't have ways to replenish their stamina and energy to kill so many monsters in such a short time?" This made perfect sense. As freshmen, they all knew that even killing thousands of pigs would require unimaginable physical exertion. Among supernatural items, there were indeed those that could replenish the energy consumed by superhumans in a short time. Therefore, Captain Tom guessed that Song Haitang must possess similar replenishment items to support their feat. The white youth looked embarrassed and dared not refute. On one hand, he knew his captain was right. On the other hand, he was somewhat afraid of Tom. Seeing the awkward atmosphere, the black man pointed outside and said, "There are many freshmen outside now. We can promise them some benefits and get those idiots to help us kill that Song." This suggestion was relatively safe. However, Captain Tom, being more cautious, had a feeling that Song Haitang was not simple, so he said, "This is the last option." The three teammates were all stunned. The black man immediately asked, "Tom, what do we do now?" "Go hunt monsters first," Tom said. "If we can kill enough monsters, we'll abandon the plan to hunt Song." "Why?" the black man asked, puzzled. "Hunting enough monsters is no less risky than hunting that woman," Tom said calmly, "because my intuition tells me that Song is more dangerous than we think." Time always slips away unnoticed. 8 hours passed quickly. Counting the previous hour, only 1 hour remained until the mission ended. In the house in the west of the city, Zhao Zheng looked around, still not seeing a single person, his expression somewhat puzzled. Seeing this, Song Haitang smiled. "They probably won't come. If possible, the girl didn't want those people to come and die, because this would stain her and Zhao Zheng's hands with blood." "Haitang, you underestimate human greed." Zhao Zheng shook his head and said, "We can't draw such a conclusion until the very last moment." Song Haitang thought for a moment and said, "Although you disguised the scene before, there are still many suspicious points." "Perhaps they were frightened." Zhao Zheng smiled and said, "People can make wrong judgments under the influence of greed. And Haitang, don't forget, the moon in the sky has been influencing us. Even if they see the suspicious points, they might choose to risk trying for the sake of the mission evaluation." "I still stand by my opinion. Unless they've killed enough monsters, they will definitely come." Meanwhile, several hundred meters away from the mansion, dozens of superhumans gathered in a house. Their target was Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang. Second update, 2 chapters released together. Please vote. Please give me more free recommendation votes. Chapter 64 Objective, Hunt down Song Haitang. Inside a civilian house, over 40 people had already gathered. And newly recruited extraordinary individuals were also arriving from different directions, continuing to enter. The originally spacious main hall suddenly became extremely crowded with so many people. With so many people, various voices naturally arose. "Murkdo? You're here too? I'm very happy to see you here. It means your harvest tonight must have been poor too. Damn bastards, aren't you the same? Haha." "Yes. Those monsters seem genuinely frightened. They've all hidden themselves. Our team searched for so long and only managed to hunt for. I guarantee this city is extremely safe now. Even if we held a chaotic party here, those monsters wouldn't come. We're the same, but we killed one more monster than you." This was a conversation between the captains of 2 teams. They seemed to know each other well. A moment later, when the number of people inside exceeded 60, finally no one else arrived. "Wow," a black man arrived last, revealing a smile. "There are quite a few people." His voice was loud, and many people in the room looked at him. One of the burly white men, who seemed to know the black man, asked, "Cole, why are you alone? Where's Tom?" Mentioning Tom Hades, a flicker of displeasure crossed Cole's face, but he quickly masked it, saying, "Tom's chasing a monster. He probably can't make it." The white man sneered, "Can't make it? Too scared to come, huh?" Cole wasn't annoyed, simply shrugging and saying, "When you see Tom, you can tell him yourself. Have you all had enough?" An Indian man suddenly spoke up. "I didn't come here to listen to this nonsense. Alright, let's get down to business." This time, it was a white girl with black-rimmed glasses who spoke. This woman seemed to be a celebrity. Most of the people present recognized her, and her voice immediately drew everyone's attention. The murmurs in the room gradually subsided. Only in the corner, those superhumans who didn't recognize her were still quietly asking their companions about her. Who is she? You don't even know her. Then you must know her father. And who is her father? Ethan Smith, hiss, one of the top experts in the Federation, the one nicknamed Magneto. That's right, okay. So she's the Smith family's princess. No wonder so many people are willing to listen to her. The white girl didn't care about these inquiries. She said, I believe everyone already knows why I have gathered you all here. That woman has killed too many monsters, making them afraid to come out anymore, which has seriously affected our mission progress. Mentioning this made everyone angry. Those monsters disappeared in a flash. They searched the city for a long time, but could only find a very small number of monsters. The white girl said this to unite everyone in hatred. Seeing that everyone's anger was rising, she continued to list Song Haitang's faults, deliberately stirring up trouble and inducing everyone to hate Song Haitang. However, there weren't many fools who came here. No matter how much she talked, it was useless. Seeing the white girl still incessantly stirring up trouble, Black Cole couldn't help but interrupt. Miss Smith, I only care about one thing. There's only one Song. Who will kill her? This question immediately drew everyone's attention to the white girl. This was the most crucial question. Who wouldn't want the progress on Song Haitang's mission? The biggest problem now was that there were too many wolves and not enough meat. Next, everyone would have to see how Miss Smith answered. If your answer wasn't satisfactory, the group would definitely leave. The white girl didn't mince words, saying directly, Song's head will definitely be mine. Upon hearing this, everyone frowned. Some immediately prepared to leave. Seeing this, the white girl quickly added, however, her companion can be given to you. You should have all seen this scene. Many monsters were violently killed. I believe that guy's mission progress is also quite considerable. The group remained unmoved. That's it? She thought she could persuade them to risk their lives? Dream on. The white girl knew her offer wasn't enticing enough, so she revealed her true trump card. Anyone willing to help me kill Song can come to me for $5 million after leaving the spirit realm. $5 million per person. This finally made many people show interest. $5 million was enough for an ordinary person to live a comfortable life. Furthermore, everyone believed that Miss Smith wouldn't renege on her promise. Her father was not only a top expert in the Federation, but also a famous tycoon with billions in assets, and he doted on his daughter. There were many news reports online about Miss Smith spending lavishly. Of course, those freshmen who already came from wealthy families wouldn't risk their lives for a mere $5 million. As the white girl finished speaking, the wealthy superhumans stood up one by one and chose to leave. Some felt the trip was too risky and chose to withdraw. A minute later, the room, which originally held 60 people, was less than a third full, becoming much more spacious. However, 40 people remained. Cole, you didn't leave? Someone asked. Cole, the black man, shrugged and said, we haven't killed any monsters yet. If we can earn $5 million, that'll be good. Upon hearing this, some nodded in agreement, clearly sharing the same thought. However, many more were observing coldly. For example, the four-man group from Japan. They weren't staying for the $5 million, they wanted to find an opportunity to fish in troubled waters, ambush and kill Song Haitang, and obtain the mission progress from Song Haitang. As for whether doing so would offend Miss Smith? Of course. But they weren't afraid at all. To prevent retaliatory competition between superhumans from different countries, the world had long ago signed the Spirit Realm Covenant. A crucial clause in the Spirit Realm Covenant is, whatever happens in the Spirit Realm, whatever grudges arise, can only be resolved within the Spirit Realm. After leaving the Spirit Realm, grudges are reset to zero, and no further revenge or killing is allowed. Although many didn't take the Spirit Realm Covenant seriously, they still outwardly respected it. If anyone breaks the contract, they will become the common enemy of all superhumans from various countries. Therefore, the four-person group from Japan is not afraid of offending Miss Smith at all. Even if Miss Smith wants to retaliate after leaving the Spirit Realm, she can only do so secretly, not openly. They are not from the same country, so what's there to be afraid of in secret revenge? Even a powerful dragon can't suppress a local snake. No matter how powerful the Smith family is, it's only within the Federation. Can they extend their reach abroad? At this moment, It's not just the Japanese team that thinks this way, teams from other countries have similar thoughts. There aren't many people who are truly after the $5 million. The smell of money is intoxicating, but a high mission evaluation is what these superhumans truly pursue. Miss Smith's gaze swept around the room. She had some idea of what these people were really planning. But it doesn't matter. She is confident in herself and believes she can achieve final victory. Because she possesses a very powerful superhuman skill, given to her by her father. Once used, it can instantly overdraw her physical strength and unleash 3 times the power of her own damage. Of course, the side effects are significant. After using it once, one will fall into a severe period of weakness. With a skill, no one can possibly outmaneuver her. Therefore, despite knowing these people harbored ulterior motives, Miss Smith didn't expose them. Very good. Those who remained, you made the right choice, Miss Smith said. If you can help me kill Song, not only will each of you receive $5 million, but you will also gain the friendship of the Smith family. My father has an excellent memory and will certainly not forget your help. These words, seemingly encouraging and winning them over, actually contained a hidden threat. Saying her father had a good memory was a warning to these people not to cause trouble, wasn't it? However, those who remained were all incredibly audacious. Why would they be afraid of her verbal threats? Miss Smith, what should we do next? That woman is not someone to be trifled with. Do you have a detailed battle plan? Of course, Miss Smith revealed an extremely confident smile. Next chapter at noon. Chapter 65 The Final Battle. Song Haitang's weakness? Song is a very capable woman, I never deny that. In fact, I'd say she's now the most outstanding among our freshmen. However, she has a fatal weakness. This Miss Smith, though young, spoke with a highly persuasive and attention-grabbing tone and choice of words. She seemed to possess the qualities of a natural leader. One can only say, no wonder she's the daughter of Magneto. I heard that Song's current flame fruit ability didn't originally belong to her. It was that foolish boy who gave the flame fruit to Song for laughable love, to help her fulfill her dream. After obtaining the flame fruit, Song didn't disappoint him. Every time she entered the spirit realm, she brought her male lover with her. I must say, their love story is quite touching, but it's precisely because of this that Song has a weakness. Yes, Song's weakness is her male lover. Next, we can split into 2 teams. One team will distract Song, and the other team will lie in ambush, waiting for an opportunity to capture the pet boy. As long as we have that idiot under our control, given Song's feelings for him, we can easily force her to a dead end. Hearing Miss Smith's plan, everyone's eyes lit up. It must be said, this plan, though simple, was quite good. It seems that Miss Smith had been preparing for this hunt for some time. With a plan in hand, everyone immediately took action. Because there was only 1 hour left before the mission ended. Inside the house, Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang were chatting idly on the rooftop, mainly trying to figure out what the red light on the moon was. Suddenly, Song Haitang's expression changed slightly, and she looked towards the street. What? They're here, Zhao Zheng said with a smile, then looked in the direction Song Haitang was looking. In the distance, several figures were moving in the darkness, approaching them. Since they're here, let's go down and greet them, Zhao Zheng said, jumping off the roof first. Song Haitang simply sighed softly, said nothing, and followed Zhao Zheng to the ground. The girl's main attribute was spirit. Energy-based attributes are all spirit, while constitution corresponds to stamina, vitality, and defense, but her other 3 attributes were not to be underestimated, and she was very agile. She certainly couldn't compare to Zhao Zheng, but compared to ordinary people, she was an absolute stomp. After landing, Song Haitang suddenly suggested, Zhao Zheng, let me make the first move. You can watch over me from the side, and only help me if you find I can't handle it. Hearing this, Zhao Zheng was taken aback. Haitang, there's no need for that, he said. These little karami are nothing, the 2 of us can easily slaughter them. I'll handle the slaughter, and you can handle the slaughter. Song Haitang, I can't just hide behind you forever, can I? The girl insisted. Let me test my strength. Zhao Zheng finally understood. Song Haitang's move was merely to pave the way for him. After all, superhumans weren't monsters. No one knew what abilities superhumans possessed, or if they had any additional superhuman skills. Although the superhuman skills produced in the spirit realm could only serve as auxiliary attack methods, far inferior to the innate abilities and potential of those in the Holy Land, some superhuman skills possessed unexpected effects. Song Haitang was clearly worried that Zhao Zheng might accidentally fall into a trap and suffer an unexpected defeat, so she decided to risk her life to test the strength and skills of the new students. Understanding this, Zhao Zheng initially intended to refuse. He felt it was unnecessary. With his current speed, he could easily kill them all before they could react. However, he reconsidered and thought it would be good for Song Haitang to have some experience and improve herself. After all, the later spiritual realms would only become more dangerous, and he couldn't protect Song Haitang every moment. With him present, the probability of the girl being in fatal danger was low. Okay, Haitang, I'll leave it to you for now, but you must be careful, Zhao Zheng said. We're guaranteed to win, so don't take any risks. Song Haitang nodded. I understand. Zhao Zheng then found a seat nearby, leaving the stage to Song Haitang. A moment later. Boom, a loud crash. The gate of the mansion was smashed open from the outside. Then, a group of freshmen swarmed in through the main gate, their momentum fierce. They were of different skin colors and from different countries. But at this moment, they shared a common goal, to kill Song Haitang. Song Haitang, now the undisputed boss, merely watched these suicidal fellow students with a cold eye. Her gaze swept around, and seeing only about 20 people, she breathed a slight sigh of relief. Her thinking was simple. Fewer deaths, fewer deaths. Song, you don't seem surprised at all to see us. Miss Smith, the leader, glanced around the house, spotting Zhao Zheng hiding in a corner, and immediately revealed a confident smile. You knew we'd come. Seeing Song Haitang remained silent, the white girl continued, to be honest, the responsibility for our presence here actually lies with you. You were too selfish, killing so many monsters and causing them to hide in fear, severely impacting our mission progress. Do you know? Among us, the team with the highest mission progress has only killed a dozen or so monsters. This Miss Smith was truly shameless. She clearly intended to kill Song Haitang, yet she insisted on occupying the moral high ground, shifting all the blame onto him. Faced with such a shameless person, Song Haitang simply replied with 4 words, enough with the nonsense. Hearing this, the white girl wasn't annoyed. After all, in her view, Song Haitang was about to become a dead man, and would die at her hands. It seems you're prepared to die, so, the white girl waved her hand. Instantly, her 2 teammates charged towards Song Haitang. The others followed suit. Seeing this, Song Haitang dared not be careless and immediately used her flame fruit ability. Poof, a raging flame erupted from the girl's right palm. The temperature in the courtyard instantly rose. Seeing this, all the freshmen's expressions turned serious, and they all stopped in their tracks, not daring to rush forward. They weren't fools. They knew that at this moment, whoever went first would be doomed. A bunch of trash, Miss Smith coldly snorted, then suddenly whistled. Whoosh, her whistling was excellent, not only loud but also long-lasting. She must practice often. Along with the whistle, more than a dozen figures suddenly appeared from the courtyard walls on both sides, quickly vaulting over and rushing into the courtyard. But their target wasn't Song Haitang. It was Zhao Zheng. Seeing everyone's urging for an update, I'll release this chapter early. 3 chapters will be released after midnight tonight, so please remember to check back and guess what extraordinary reward the protagonist will receive this time. Also, to reply to a knowledgeable reader, the 2nd level of the spirit realm is a plundering spirit realm, so there will be no amnesia. Finally, please vote. Chapter 66 New Life, he's the real big boss. Seeing the new superhumans rushing towards him, Zhao Zheng was a little dumbfounded. What were these useless people trying to do? Instead of going after Song Haitang, they'd been lying in ambush for so long, and their target was him? His bewildered expression, in the eyes of the new students, looked like he was completely terrified. Seeing this, several new students became bolder and swarmed forward, attacking Zhao Zheng from all angles, giving him no chance to escape. Good heavens! At this moment, Zhao Zheng really wanted to slap these useless people to death. However, seeing the posture, it didn't seem like they were aiming for vital organs, so Zhao Zheng restrained the urge to strike. He wanted to see what these useless people were planning to do. Then, a white youth rushed to Zhao Zheng's side first. As he approached Zhao Zheng, his arms quickly extended, like ramen noodles, wrapping around Zhao Zheng, eventually becoming almost entirely rope, binding Zhao Zheng tightly, round and round. At first, Zhao Zheng was quite surprised, thinking the other person's talent was like Luffy's gum fruit ability. Later, he realized it wasn't. This kid's talent was more like the ability of Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four, the ability to transform his body into any shape at will. It was somewhat similar to Luffy's Gum Gum Fruit ability. However, Mr. Fantastic's greatest strength was his brain. He was hailed as the most intelligent human being. This white youth, on the other hand, looked like a complete idiot. Haha. I caught him, the guy shouted excitedly after grabbing Zhao Zheng. Good job, Jamie, his teammate praised. Another burly black man next to him curled his lip in disdain. Does catching him make you feel accomplished? This kid's already scared out of his wits. Zhao Zheng. The sudden turn of events not only surprised Zhao Zheng, but even Song Haitang's group was stunned. Were these people out of their minds? Why did you all provoke Zhao Zheng for no reason? Even I wouldn't dare mess with him. Seeing her ally capture Zhao Zheng so easily, Miss Smith laughed heartily. Then, she looked at Song Haitang with a smug expression. Song, your beloved male concubine is now in my hands. You have absolutely no chance of winning. Song Haitang understood, but she couldn't help but confirm. You had a group of people for a surprise attack, just to capture Zhao Zheng and use him to threaten me into submission. The spirit realm possessed the magical ability to translate languages, so communication between the two was seamless. Yes. This was my plan. The white girl's expression was arrogant. How about it? Am I clever? Song Haitang, clever. Indeed clever. You are truly brilliant. To actually capture the real big boss, Zhao Zheng, just to threaten a nobody like her. Song Haitang didn't know what to say about this kind of person. Actually, Miss Smith couldn't be blamed. Zhao Zheng had been deliberately hiding himself, providing these people with incorrect information. Whether you're clever or not, I don't know, but I hope you won't regret it later. Song Haitang looked at Miss Smith with a hint of pity. Regret? Miss Smith paused, then said, what? Can't you afford to disregard his life? Clearly, this foreign woman had misunderstood Song Haitang's meaning. Song Haitang, too lazy to argue further, said, enough with the nonsense. What exactly do you want? My request is simple. Miss Smith grinned maliciously. As long as you defeat all of us without using the flame fruit's power, I'll let you go. Without using the flame fruit's power? Wasn't this just sending Song Haitang to her death? What if I refuse? Then I'll have to kill your beloved male concubine first. Miss Smith coldly threatened. Song, you don't want your male concubine to die a horrible death in front of you, do you? Faced with such a Japanese-style threat, Song Haitang remained calm. She said indifferently, if you can kill him, then go ahead and do it. What? Miss Smith thought she had misheard, her face filled with astonishment. Not only her. Everyone around her was also astonished, their expressions surprised. I said, you can make your move now, Song Haitang repeated. I don't accept your threats. Thousands of monsters couldn't harm Zhao Zheng in the slightest. She wanted to see what these people could do to him. You? Miss Smith was stunned by Song Haitang's words. You don't care about his life? She was shocked. This wasn't the scenario she had imagined at all. Logically, shouldn't this pair of fools, so deeply in love, cherish each other's lives? Suddenly, Miss Smith seemed to realize something. You're bluffing me, aren't you? The more she spoke, the more certain her expression became, finally revealing a cold smile. I almost fell for your trick. Hearing her say this, the people around her breathed a sigh of relief. Poof! Suddenly, the sound of flames rising rang out. Song Haitang's pretty face, reflected in the firelight, appeared exceptionally cold. If you don't make your move now, I'm going to. Everyone was shocked. Because Song Haitang's demeanor didn't seem feigned at all. She seemed genuinely indifferent to the life of her male concubine. Everyone was stunned and completely at a loss. Miss Smith, in particular, was utterly dumbfounded. If Song Haitang truly didn't care about Zhao Zheng's life, then her plan was a complete joke. That's impossible. Your love story is even circulating overseas. How could you not care about his life? Hearing this, Song Haitang was speechless. She was too lazy to argue with this self-righteous girl and turned her gaze to Zhao Zheng, who was tied up in the crowd. Zhao Zheng, how long are you going to play around? Zhao Zheng chuckled and said, Haitang, don't rush. These people are quite interesting. They've brought me a lot of joy. Only now did everyone realize that something was very wrong. Zhao Zheng's face showed no sign of being captured. Miss Smith, seeing the amused smile on Zhao Zheng's face, felt her heart sink. A bad premonition quickly enveloped her. Although she had a significant numerical advantage, she still had a feeling that disaster was imminent. Kill him, Miss Smith shouted, quickly retreating. She chose to trust her instincts. Unfortunately, it was too late to leave now. Whoosh, a wall of fire suddenly appeared in front of her, scorching the surrounding air and blocking her path. Chapter 67, The Truth Comes Out, I'm actually Azu. Song Haitang intervened, stopping Miss Smith. The girl knew very well that since Zhao Zheng was hiding his strength, every single superhuman present tonight would die. This was the plundering spirit realm, not the amnesia spirit realm, where one could leave with their memories intact. Song Haitang didn't want to appear useless. She couldn't help Zhao Zheng with the monster-killing missions, so she would assist him, filling in any gaps and handling minor issues. Meanwhile, action broke out on the other side. Clang, a crisp sound rang out. A muscular superhuman raised a large sword, aiming it at Zhao Zheng's head, and swung it down. The result? The sword shattered. Zhao Zheng was completely unharmed. This scene instantly shocked and disbelieved those around them. Even if the sword had been unused in the spirit realm for a long time and had weathered and rusted, it was still iron. How could a mere body withstand such a blow? Those surrounding Zhao Zheng instantly retreated. Zhao Zheng's performance had frightened them. That's no fun, Zhao Zheng said calmly. Then, with a slight twitch of his arms, bang, the arms wrapped around him instantly snapped into dozens of pieces. Blood flowed everywhere. Ah, the white youth screamed in agony. He was only just beginning his journey on the path of the extraordinary and couldn't yet use this ability at will. Zhao Zheng's actions were tantamount to crippling him. This scene terrified everyone once again. They knew a little about the white youth's binding ability. They knew his arms were incredibly tough, even tougher than cow tendons. Once bound, even the most terrifying monsters couldn't break free. Unexpectedly, Zhao Zheng had broken the white youth's arms with just a slight twitch. How much power did that take? David's arms couldn't withstand the pull of tons of force. One of the white youth's companions cried out in horror. He could break free from David's bindings. His strength attribute must be at least 500 points. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. Over 500 points in strength? This was an attribute they couldn't even dream of. Considering Zhao Zheng had been stabbed earlier without a scratch, it meant his defense was terrifyingly strong. How could such a monster exist among the new students? Could this be the true talent of the Kryptonian bloodline? A Korean looked on incredulously. He remembered a Kryptonian in his country. However, that person was an old man abandoned by his family, treated as a waste, spending his life indulging in pleasure and leaving behind countless scandalous stories. His strength was unremarkable. This Kryptonian was completely different. Thinking this, the Korean couldn't help but ask loudly, "You've uncovered the true secret of the Kryptonian bloodline, correct?" Zhao Zheng replied calmly, "Unfortunately, there's no reward." As soon as he finished speaking, Zhao Zheng raised his right hand. He clenched his fist and threw a punch at the Korean and his teammates from a distance. The force of the punch was immense. Bang! The sound of air exploding rang in everyone's ears. A violent hurricane rapidly formed from Zhao Zheng's fist, instantly transforming into a terrifying air shockwave. Previously, when Zhao Zheng's strength attribute exceeded 300, his fist shockwave could shatter trees several meters away. Now that his strength attribute had surpassed 600, the destructive power of his fist shockwave was even more terrifying. The air along its path was instantly torn apart. The air shockwave, like the scythe of death, easily blasted the Korean player and his teammates into fragments. Blood and flesh flew everywhere. Seeing such a bloody scene, many freshmen were stunned. "Tusan! Run!" Captain Inu, mixed in with the crowd, shouted and immediately turned to run. He recognized the South Korean team. Their captain, Zhang Qiandan, was a freshman celebrity with formidable strength. If such a powerful figure could be easily killed by Zhao Zheng, what was he still doing here? Waiting to be eaten alive? Hearing their captain's warning, his three teammates snapped out of their daze and fled. Thump! A loud explosion suddenly erupted behind them. Zhao Zheng had moved, his foot pounding the ground, and he moved like lightning, appearing before the Japanese pirates in the blink of an eye. Japanese pirates? What disgusting trash! With that, Zhao Zheng slapped Anu and the others. What followed was a complete transformation of the courtyard into a living hell. Shouts of shock, anger, and agony filled the air. Although Zhao Zheng was fighting alone against 40 opponents, he still achieved a one-sided massacre. His body was indestructible, his fists possessed immense strength, and his speed was unmatched. He completely overwhelmed these newly minted superhumans in every way. Even those few with decent strength among them were no different from ordinary people in Zhao Zheng's eyes. He slapped them all to pieces. In less than a minute, all 40-odd newly minted superhumans were corpses. Many of the corpses were incomplete, with large parts missing. The courtyard was completely stained red with blood and flesh, the stench of blood filling the air. It was like a scene from hell. Having killed so many in one go, Zhao Zheng had initially thought he would feel uncomfortable. After all, these were living people, not monsters. But to his surprise, he felt no discomfort whatsoever, completely normal. This made him wonder if his talent wasn't that of a superhuman, but rather that of an ancestor. Then, Zhao Zheng turned his gaze to the last two people standing in the courtyard. One was naturally Song Haitang. The other was the white girl, Miss Smith. Miss Smith was already terrified and incontinent. If she hadn't been holding onto the wall, she wouldn't have been able to stand. Her face was a mess of tears and snot. "Haitang, why are you still keeping her?" Zhao Zheng asked. Song Haitang stared at the white girl and said, "I felt she was preparing some kind of ultimate move, so I didn't approach." Only then did Zhao Zheng notice that Song Haitang was standing in a position that blocked the exit and was quite a distance from the white girl. "Oh," Zhao Zheng immediately said, "then leave it to me." He was quite satisfied with Song Haitang's caution. Then, Zhao Zheng walked towards the white girl. "Ah!" The white girl screamed in fright when she saw Zhao Zheng approaching, revealing a meme-worthy expression, "Demon, don't come any closer." Zhao Zheng remained expressionless. His behavior just now was indeed no different from that of a demon reaping lives. If you have any special abilities, you'd better use them now, otherwise you won't have the chance later. Zhao Zheng spoke these piercing words as he approached. "Wait," the white girl suddenly seemed to remember something and quickly said, "In the big house on the mountaintop, you were the one who killed those monsters, right? Their corpses weren't intact." Second update. The third update has some issues and needs revision. It will probably be posted during the day. New month, please vote. If we can break 100 monthly votes today, I'll continue with 3 updates tomorrow. Chapter 68 Mission Time's Up. Return. Zhao Zheng looked at the white girl strangely. He wondered if she'd been scared out of her wits. Why was she still saying all this at a time like this? Did she think she could get away with it? Also, the fact that you got an SSS level mission rating in the first level of the spirit realm is actually thanks to you. You're the strongest among the new students. We've all been deceived by you, the white girl continued. Song Haitang suddenly spoke up. She's stalling for time. The mission will end in a dozen minutes. Hearing this, the white girl's expression changed. Zhao Zheng suddenly understood. Once the mission was over, this foreign woman could be teleported back. She just wanted to stall for a dozen minutes in front of him? Dream on. Zhao Zheng stared at the white girl, a smirk on his face, and strode towards her. A dozen minutes was enough time for him to kill this woman 800 times over. Just as Zhao Zheng approached the white girl, less than 5 meters away, her eyes suddenly sharpened. Then, her skin rapidly turned red and emitted white steam, as if she were being boiled. The next moment, the white girl, a blur of black, hurtled towards Zhao Zheng like an arrow. Thump! A bright red fist struck Zhao Zheng, hitting his arms. The force of the blow was immense. Zhao Zheng was sent flying back several meters, his feet carving a furrow in the ground. That was a good punch. I didn't expect you to have such a move. Zhao Zheng released his arms, looking at the white girl with some surprise. That move was somewhat like Luffy's Steam Gear Second, but not quite. He smiled and said, "Very well, I wasn't satisfied before, so you'll have some fun with me." With that, Zhao Zheng continued walking towards the white girl. Unexpectedly, Miss Smith, seeing Zhao Zheng unharmed, showed despair on her face. Then, with a thud, she knelt down on the ground. That attack had exhausted all her strength. She was now extremely weak. Zhao Zheng could clearly see the white steam on the other woman's body rapidly dissipating, including her abnormal red skin. In just a moment, the white girl looked as if she had lost weight. Zhao Zheng frowned immediately. It was obvious that she had exhausted all her strength to unleash such a punch. "So, you're just a 1-second wonder? Making me wait so long." He stopped wasting time and prepared to send her on her way. "Don't kill me, please, don't kill me. I have money, I can give you lots of money. Yes, yes, my father is the famous Ethan Smith. I'm his most beloved daughter. If you kill me, you'll definitely face his revenge." Bang! A loud explosion. Miss Smith's pleas for mercy abruptly stopped. Zhao Zheng had slapped her head, smashing it open. Dead beyond any doubt. At this point, everyone who participated in the ambush of Song Haitang and Zhao Zheng tonight was dead. "Haitang, are you alright?" Zhao Zheng turned around and asked. He was becoming increasingly satisfied with this girl. Miss Smith's attack just now, if it had been Song Haitang, she might not have been able to block it. Fortunately, this girl was cautious enough to sense something was wrong and kept her distance from the enemy, not launching a rash attack. Zhao Zheng was most afraid of those fools who wanted to help without any strength. They would only make things worse and might even lose their own lives. "I'm fine, are you?" Song Haitang asked back. Zhao Zheng smiled and said, "Do I look like I'm in trouble?" Actually, among the freshmen he had just slaughtered, several of them had strange abilities and had hide him. However, they were all immune to his strong defense. It can only be said that a body of steel is truly amazing. "It's good that you're alright," Song Haitang added. "We're about to leave the spirit realm. Do you want to find some clothes to change into? Their clothes don't belong to the spirit realm, so you should be able to wear them out." This girl was also quite strong-willed. The corpses all over the ground only made her slightly furrow her brows. Unlike those timid girls who would scream and turn weak in the knees at the sight of a cockroach. "That makes sense." Zhao Zheng immediately rummaged through the newly formed corpses. Finally, he found a leather jacket on a complete corpse and put it on. A moment later, the two returned to the rooftop, waiting for the mission time to end. Zhao Zheng smiled and said, "Haitang, those useless guys just contributed about 100 mission progress points to my mission. Now our combined progress should definitely exceed 1,500, we should be able to get an SSS level mission rating, right?" Song Haitang said, "I don't know what the standard for an SSS level mission rating is, but with our progress, the possibility is very high." "Excellent, then," Zhao Zheng suddenly said, "Haitang, why don't we try to get a perfect SSS level rating for every subsequent level of the spirit realm, creating an unprecedented record?" Hearing this, Song Haitang's heart skipped a beat. If they could get an SSS level mission rating for every level of the spirit realm, it would definitely leave the most significant mark on the history of humankind's extraordinary abilities, earning the admiration of future generations. Of course, that wasn't the most important thing. The most important thing was that getting an SSS level mission rating for every level would maximize the rewards, and their strength would increase rapidly. Then, Song Haitang would have the ability to fulfill her long-cherished wish. "Okay," Song Haitang readily agreed, a bright smile appearing on her pretty face. "Then I'll follow you from now on." Actually, Zhao Zheng's words just now had two meanings. And Song Haitang's answer was also a double entendre. Hearing this, Zhao Zheng looked at Song Haitang beside him, his eyes filled with laughter. "It's a deal." Song Haitang nodded gently, a hint of shyness on her pretty face. Then, as if she had thought of something, the girl frowned and reminded him, "Zhao Zheng, that woman said her father was Ethan Smith. You should know this person, right?" "That sounds familiar." Zhao Zheng frowned and thought for a moment, then suddenly realized, "Isn't it Magneto, the top powerhouse in the Federation?" "Yes," Song Haitang nodded. Zhao Zheng understood what Song Haitang meant. "You mean, her father will retaliate against us?" Only about 40 freshmen came to ambush them tonight, more than half of the freshmen hadn't arrived yet. Although the freshmen didn't come, they should at least know about these people's plans. Once they return and tell everyone, they'll be able to guess that the 40-odd freshmen who didn't return likely died at the hands of Song Haitang and Zhao Zheng. With a Spirit Realm covenant in place, we're still in the right. He definitely won't dare to retaliate openly unless he wants to become the enemy of all superhumans, Song Haitang said. However, we need to be wary of them using some underhanded tricks. The village keeps having power outages, so we moved house today. It was a long day, and everyone's exhausted. This is the third update. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69 Magneto King, Where is My Daughter? Zhao Zheng was prepared for potential retaliation. After all, those new students were someone else's children. Of course, if given another chance, Zhao Zheng would still wipe them out. It wasn't like he started the trouble. They came to kill him and Song Haitang, couldn't he retaliate? His actions would be considered self-defense. Zhao Zheng was simply curious about what underhanded tactics the other side could use with a spirit realm covenant in place. Underhanded tactics, Zhao Zheng asked. What kind of underhanded tactics? Song Haitang thought for a moment and said, a celebrity like Ethan Smith is under intense scrutiny. He certainly wouldn't come to deal with us personally, and our top experts wouldn't allow him to cause trouble here. The most likely scenario is that he'll instruct some superhuman assassins, or simply issue an anonymous bounty on the dark web, offering a reward for our capture. As long as the reward is high enough, people will naturally be tempted. Zhao Zheng frowned slightly upon hearing this. He had heard of some superhuman assassin organizations in this world, some of whose top assassins were feared by all. His current strength is enough to dominate among the freshmen, but he's not considered a strongman among the superhumans. If those assassins come, it will indeed be troublesome. Zhao Zheng, after we go back, why don't you move back to the school for the time being? Song Haitang suggested. Every year after the freshmen reach the second level of the spirit realm, some disputes arise. To deal with this situation and protect the students' safety, major superhuman universities hire some strong individuals to act as protectors, so staying at the school is the safest option. Those assassins won't dare to directly enter the school to carry out assassinations. This was a good suggestion. However, moving back to the school was too troublesome. His sunbathing device was so big that it couldn't even fit through the dormitory door, and the school certainly wouldn't allow him to modify the dormitory. In the end, he would still have to go out to receive artificial sunlight. Should he just have the school customize it? Sorry. He didn't have that kind of face. I'm fine, it's mainly you, Zhao Zheng said. Hey dang, I think even if that Magneto wants revenge, his primary target will definitely be you. I'm just a side effect at most, so you need to be careful. This was for sure. After all, in everyone's mind, Kryptonian bloodlines have no abilities. Even though Zhao Zheng obtained a lot of spiritual energy points in the first level of the spirit realm, he still didn't have the ability to hunt down other new powerhouses. Only a genius like Song Haitang could do it. I know I don't usually leave the school, Song Haitang suddenly asked. Zhao Zheng, when I asked you to team up before, you didn't agree at first, but then you suddenly agreed to team up with me. Was it because you found out that the spirit realm could check grades, and you deliberately used me as a shield? Oh, that's a good question. Sure enough, nothing can be hidden from this girl. Zhao Zheng hesitated for a moment, thinking it was better to tell the truth. Because the answer to this question was too obvious. Continuing to deceive her would be treating Song Haitang like a fool. At first, I did have that idea. To give you all the fame and stay behind the scenes because I didn't want to expose the potential of my Kryptonian bloodline for the time being. I just didn't expect to encounter something like this in the second level of the spirit realm. Song Haitang nodded. She could understand Zhao Zheng's thoughts. Suddenly, the girl smiled slightly. So, I have to thank the spirit realm's results query function. If it weren't for it, I wouldn't have been able to latch onto you. Zhao Zheng smiled awkwardly. After all, he had initially been very firm in refusing Song Haitang's request to team up. Please note, you will be teleported back in 30 seconds, 29, 28, 27. At this moment, a notification popped up in both of their left eyes. Seeing the notification, the two stopped chatting, stood up, and prepared to return. If they remained seated, they would be sitting on the ground after being teleported back 30 seconds later. All the new students in the second level of the spirit realm disappeared from the spirit realm. Blue star. Due to the time difference, it was currently late at night in the Federation. In a huge and luxurious manner, the famous Ethan Smith was sitting on a sofa enjoying fine wine. Besides him, there were several middle-aged couples nearby, drinking and chatting about interesting things, their words full of flattery towards Ethan. These middle-aged couples were the parents of the extraordinary new students. Their children were teammates with Mr. Ethan's daughter, which is why they were eligible to be invited to Smith Manor to await their children's return with the important Ethan. Time ticked by. A balding middle-aged man glanced at the clock on the wall and suddenly reminded them, time's almost up. Upon hearing this, the ladies put down their wine glasses, straightened their appearance, and sat upright, displaying their dignified and noble bearing. The gentlemen did the same. Only Mr. Ethan remained smiling, making no move. The next moment, a figure appeared out of thin air on the empty carpet before them. The new students had returned. However, only one person had returned. Everyone's expression changed drastically. They were all high-ranking elites of the Federation, and they were intimately familiar with the rules of the spirit realm. If someone hadn't been teleported back by the appointed time, it meant something had happened in the spirit realm, and they would never return. My child, one of the ladies couldn't hold back any longer, collapsing to the ground and wailing loudly towards the empty air. The other middle-aged men and women were also filled with pain, unable to accept the reality. Among them, only one couple showed no grief. Their child had returned alive. However, their faces showed no joy, but rather panic. They knew that although their child was back, the current situation meant that nothing good awaited them. Clang, a crisp sound rang out. Ethan's expensive crystal glass shattered in his hand, spilling red wine all over his expensive clothes. But Ethan didn't care. At this moment, Mr. Ethan was no longer the calm, composed, and dignified figure he had been before. His face was ashen, twisted with rage, and his expression terrifying. Tell me, what happened in the spirit realm? Where is my daughter? Ethan demanded, his voice filled with fury. The only young man who had returned alive was startled by Ethan's voice. He now understood that his teammates, including Miss Smith, were all trapped in the spirit realm. This meant that Miss Smith's plan had completely failed. The failure was utterly devastating. He himself had been dragged down with him. I'm very sorry, Mr. Smith. Miss Dale ordered me to wait where I am, the young man stammered, recounting the events. It must be said, Miss Smith was quite shrewd. She feared her plan would fail, and she might even lose her life, leaving no one to relay a message to her father. So, she deliberately left a teammate hidden elsewhere. Unexpectedly, this proved useful. After hearing the young man's explanation, everyone finally understood what their children had done in the spirit realm. However, upon hearing that their children had united a large group to assassinate a genius girl from the Eastern Xia Kingdom, not a single person felt their children had done anything wrong. It was as if Song Haitang should obediently stretch out her neck and be hunted by their children. Even Ethan himself held this view. You mean, Dale organized over 40 people to ambush those two freshmen, and not only did they fail, they were all wiped out? Not a single survivor. Ethan's tone remained icy, like a volcano about to erupt. However, his face held a hint of disbelief. The young boy stammered, Mr. Smith, I swear I am telling the truth. Miss Dale told me to stay away, so I don't know what happened in that room. I don't know if any of the 40-odd members involved in the attack survived. Is that so? Then what's the point of you being alive? The words were barely out of his mouth when Ethan's finger twitched. All the metal knives and forks on the table flew towards him, instantly turning the young man into a pincushion. The young man's eyes widened. He didn't even have time to scream before he died. Blood stained the expensive carpet. This scene terrified many people. No. My child, the young man's mother cried out, trying to rush forward. But her husband held her back tightly. Ethan noticed the resentment in the husband's eyes and coldly asked, Mr. Campbell, do you have any objections to what I did? At this moment, Ethan's face was filled with furious rage. He wouldn't mind killing 2 more people to vent his anger. Upon hearing this, the husband immediately lowered his head. Little Campbell failed in his duty to protect Miss Dale, and I have no objection to your handling of the matter. From beginning to end, he didn't dare glance at Ethan, appearing utterly cowardly. Ethan, however, was somewhat impressed with Campbell. As far as he knew, Campbell only had this one son. To witness his only son die tragically before his eyes and still be able to endure it, this Mr. Campbell was indeed a ruthless man. Chapter 70 Shock. SSS level rating reappears. Xia Kingdom. Zhenwu University. On the playground. Seeing most of the students return safely, the teachers present all breathed a heavy sigh of relief. For these freshmen, raiding the spirit realm was extremely dangerous, and it was also one of the spirit realms with the highest casualties. After all, having to fight monsters while also guarding against fellow students was indeed quite difficult for these freshmen. Zhenwu University is a prestigious university. The students' talents and foundations are all quite good. For students from ordinary extraordinary academies, entering the plundering spirit realm can result in a brutal loss of more than half their numbers. They both came back? That's impressive. Are you stupid? They got 350 spirit energy points in the previous level of the spirit realm. If they put all of that into their attributes, even Zhao Zheng would be stronger than you. Not to mention Song Haitang, the top freshman, is there too. What's wrong with them coming back alive? Brother, your analysis makes a lot of sense. I'm not surprised they came back, but I'm sure their results this time won't be good. Yet, These monsters were too hard to kill. Their shells were as hard as iron. Our team worked hard for 10 hours and only killed a little over 40. Several times we almost got surrounded by monsters because we didn't retreat in time. Holy crap. 40 odd? Are you showing off, classmate? I'm curious, how many monsters can they kill this time? Can they kill more than 100? Hell, 100? If they can kill more than 50, I'll eat 10 bowls of rice on livestream. The students were buzzing with discussion. And the objects of their discussion were Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang. Seeing the two return alive, Teacher Shen and Old Chu both breathed a sigh of relief. According to the statistics, a total of 183 students returned this time. A whopping 64 students remained forever in the second level of the spiritual realm. That's 11 more than in the first level last time. The path to transcendence is indeed cruel. However, the teachers present felt that this result was quite good. Next, it was time to verify and record everyone's scores. Students who receive mission rewards, please report to your teachers immediately. As soon as the words fell, many students raised their hands. The best scores were surprisingly from Zhang Hebin and his group. Zhang Hebin, Chen Kai, Yu Zhuang, Zhou Junji, number of enemies killed in this spiritual realm. 69 inches overall score, A level, overall ranking. 34th, basic reward received. 147 spiritual energy points. Teacher Shen read out the 4 students' scores with a smile. Although these scores were slightly lower than last time, they were still quite good. The overall ranking refers to the ranking among all new students in the second level of the spiritual realm, a global ranking. To achieve such a ranking among freshmen from universities worldwide is enough to prove their prowess. As for why Zhang Hebin and his team were both A rank after killing over 100 enemies last time, and also A rank after killing 69 this time, everyone guessed it was because the monsters in the second level of the spirit realm were much stronger than those in the first level. You 4 did very well. The usually strict Teacher Shen rarely praised the 4. The surrounding students immediately looked at them with envy. However, upon closer reflection, everyone felt that their excellent results in the second level of the spirit realm were normal. This was because all 4 had excellent talents. Zhang Hebin and Chen Kai's abilities even had a restraining effect on the monsters of the second level. Chen Kai's steel-like ability could perfectly block the monsters' attacks. Especially Zhang Hebin. Although his werewolf bloodline had limited potential, it was very strong in the early stages, with a significant boost. In addition, the werewolf also had a powerful self-healing ability. Although not as strong as Wolverine or saber-toothed tiger, it still allowed Zhang Hebin to be immune to a certain degree of physical attacks. The students' scores were tallied quickly. So far, the best results still belong to Zhang Hebin and his group. Facing the envious glances around him, Zhang Hebin wore a smug expression. That's just his personality. Blindly arrogant when successful, and incredibly vulnerable when unsuccessful. Suddenly, Zhang Hebin's gaze fell on Song Haitang. Last time, he suggested teaming up with Song Haitang, but Song Haitang refused with the excuse that Zhao Zheng is the captain. Now he really wanted to know what kind of results Song Haitang could achieve. He had originally planned to make a few sarcastic remarks to vent his anger. However, remembering his previous predicament, Zhang Hebin held back. Soon, everyone's results were tallied. Now only Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang remained. Haitang, haven't your results come out yet? Teacher Shen asked. Song Haitang nodded. Yes, not yet. Teacher Shen didn't think much of it. The results for the first 10 levels of the spirit realm varied in speed. After a moment's hesitation, Teacher Shen couldn't help but ask, Haitang, how do you think your performance this time compares to last time? The question immediately drew everyone's attention. Quite a bit worse, Song Haitang replied modestly. This time, her kill count was indeed lower than in the first level of the spirit realm. However, the rewards might be different. Because last time, her kill count was actually off the charts, exceeding the SSS level mission evaluation by a significant margin. Teacher Shen sighed softly. She hadn't been optimistic about Song Haitang's journey in the spirit realm to begin with. After all, Zhao Zheng's attribute points might be high among the freshmen, but he lacked decent attack power. Now, hearing Song Haitang's own admission that her performance was much worse than last time, even though Teacher Shen was somewhat prepared, she still felt incredibly regretful. This was a potential powerhouse who could have set a new record. It was all because she was blinded by ridiculous love and made a reckless choice that this happened. At this moment, Teacher Shen really wanted to ask Song Haitang if she regretted it. However, she didn't say it aloud because there were too many people around. She would talk to Song Haitang privately. If Song Haitang changed her mind now and gave up on Zhao Zheng, with the solid foundation she had built in the first level, it would still be possible to recover. As for the other students, upon hearing Song Haitang say quite a bit worse, many immediately showed expressions of I knew it, their results this time would definitely be terrible. How a useless talent is indeed a useless talent. Even if you give him so many spirit points, it's still useless. I bet Song Haitang is regretting it now. It's good enough that she came back alive. If she dares to be so reckless again, she might get herself into trouble, the students whispered among themselves. Song Haitang's previous results in the first level were terrifying, making her the most dazzling new star, naturally arousing the jealousy of some students. Now that Song Haitang was finally unlucky, it was normal for there to be sarcastic remarks. Just then, all the students' expressions changed. Especially those students who had just mocked Song Haitang, who showed an incredulous look of horror. Because that damned super announcement appeared again. Announcement. The team of extraordinary individuals Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang slew 1,507 monsters in the second level of the spiritual realm, performing exceptionally well and earning a perfect mission rating, SSS level. 2 chapters complete. A new week has begun, and the book is officially getting into its main theme. The protagonist will soon transform into a king of coolness. Could you please give me some votes? This author needs the motivation to update more frequently. And votes are the best source of motivation. Chapter 71 Shocking the World. Announcement. The team of extraordinary individuals Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang has achieved an outstanding performance in the second level of the spirit realm, killing 1,507 monsters and earning a perfect mission rating, SSS level. The spirit realm's super announcement has reappeared. All students worldwide who participated in the second level of the spirit realm and returned alive saw this announcement. Everyone was stunned for a moment. Then, an uproar erupted. Damn. Someone else got a perfect SSS level rating. Those two names sound familiar. Song? Zhao? Damn it. It's them again. They actually killed 1,507 of those terrifying monsters? Oh. God. How did they do that? They've already gotten 2 perfect SSS level mission ratings in a row, haven't they? Unbelievable. FK. All the limelight has been stolen by these 2 bastards. We're going to have to live in their shadow. Their luck is really amazing, but I don't believe there will be a third time. Hey. Buddy. Once is luck, twice in a row only proves their strength, especially that Song. A large number of freshmen were discussing this on their school's playground. Many students were even dissatisfied with Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang's dominance on the rankings. Hearing the students' shouts and curses, the teachers were initially bewildered, but quickly realized what had happened. They immediately reported the situation. The news spread up the ranks, eventually alarming many powerful figures. As some students had previously said, receiving an SSS level mission rating once might be luck, but 2 such incredible ratings in a row were definitely beyond explanation. More and more powerful figures began to pay attention to this matter. Information about Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang was also placed on the desks of many powerful figures. At this moment, on the Zhenwu University playground, all the students turned their heads in unison after seeing the announcement, their eyes all fixed on Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang. And everyone's face was filled with shock. What's wrong with you? Noticing the students' unusual behavior, Teacher Shen asked. Could it be, she seemed to realize something, and a look of surprise appeared on her pretty face. Then, she went to Song Haitang and hurriedly asked, Haitang, have your mission rewards arrived yet? Song Haitang nodded calmly. Can I take a look? Teacher Shen actually used a pleading tone when speaking to a student. Of course, Song Haitang said. This Teacher Shen had been quite nice to her, so she respected her. Upon hearing this, Teacher Shen immediately extended her hand. However, she didn't press Song Haitang's forehead, but instead grasped Song Haitang's hand. Between extraordinary individuals, simply touching each other allows them to read the results of the other spiritual realm mission. Of course, this is contingent on the other party's consent. Soon, Teacher Shen's expression turned to surprise. Then, in an unusually excited tone, she read out Song Haitang's results. Song Haitang, Zhao Zheng, number of enemies killed in the spirit realm. 1,507 inches over an all rating, SSS level, overall ranking, first place, historical ranking, first place, basic reward. 300 spirit energy points, capped, Extra reward. 100 spirit energy points, capped, split equally among team members. Second layer Spirit Realm Perfect Achievement Reward, 1 extraordinary treasure chest. Reward belongs to the main team members. Distributed upon entering the next layer of the Spirit Realm, almost identical to the first layer's rewards. Although everyone was somewhat prepared, hearing these rewards from Teacher Shen still filled them with envy. If Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang split these rewards equally, each would receive another 350 spirit energy points. Adding the 350 spirit energy points from the first layer of the Spirit Realm, even Zhao Zheng's total attributes would now exceed 700. He could easily defeat all the freshmen present. Except for Song Haitang's 700 points of total attribute points, even a useless person could become one of the strongest among the freshmen. If they were given those points, they could instantly become top freshmen. Although everyone was envious, no one spoke on the playground. They hadn't thought much of Song Haitang and Zhao Zheng before, and saying anything now would only be a slap in their own face. Only the teachers gathered together, their faces full of amazement. At this point, all the students' scores were tallied. A leader came to the group and said, "Everyone has worked hard. The school has prepared a sumptuous lunch for you. You can go back to your dorms to shower and change your clothes, then go to the cafeteria for lunch. After lunch, you can rest well this afternoon." The leader was very excited and ran off after speaking. He probably wanted to report Song Haitang and Zhao Zheng's scores to the vice principal immediately. The students dispersed. The leader was right, everyone did need to shower and change. Many students' clothes were tattered. Afterwards, Song Haitang was taken away by Teacher Shen. Old Chu approached Zhao Zheng and patted him on the shoulder. Well done. He firmly believed that the two children's outstanding performance in the Spirit Realm wasn't solely due to Song Haitang. Perhaps his student had also contributed significantly. Zhao Zheng simply smiled at Old Chu's praise. "I remember you live off campus, right? Go back and change your clothes quickly, and remember to come to the cafeteria for lunch later. The school went to great lengths to ensure you have a good meal today," Old Chu said with a smile. Zhao Zheng nodded. "Okay, I'll come over later, go ahead." Zhao Zheng left the school and headed towards his apartment. He was definitely safe off campus now. Even if Magneto wanted revenge for his daughter, he wouldn't be able to act so quickly. Back at his apartment, Zhao Zheng first took a shower, changed into clean clothes, and then opened his attribute panel. Race, human. Constitution, 610 spirit. 191 strength. 610 agility. 610 talent, Kryptonian bloodline, iron body, activated, skill, fist wind impact. Spiritual energy points, 700. Seeing these attributes, Zhao Zheng was very satisfied. Afterwards, he left the apartment and headed towards the school to enjoy the lunch prepared by the school. Meanwhile, Teacher Shen was chatting with Song Haitang. She was now paying extremely high attention to this student. Having received 2 consecutive SSS level perfect ratings was enough to make Song Haitang's potential reach unprecedented heights. "Huh? Haitang, your necklace." Teacher Shen finally noticed the necklace on Song Haitang's neck, and this necklace faintly emitted energy fluctuations. "I remember you didn't wear a necklace before going to the second level of the Spirit Realm. Is this a transcendent item?" "Yes," Song Haitang nodded. Teacher Shen immediately feigned realization. "I know. This is the reward from the extraordinary treasure chest in the first level of the Spirit Realm, right? The reward is for the main force, Guoran, but you are the main force." Saying this, Teacher Shen added with a smile, "Previously, some people online speculated that Zhao Zheng might have something special, and that you all got your SSS level rating entirely because of him. How laughable." Song Haitang, please vote. Please vote. Big shots. If you don't have monthly tickets, please move your fingers and give me your free recommendation tickets, please. Chapter 72 Song Haitang, I'm already engaged. When Zhao Zheng arrived at the cafeteria, it was exactly noon. The cafeteria was bustling with activity. Many teachers and students had arrived, including some upperclassmen from the second and third years. This was because the food in the cafeteria today was not only plentiful but also free. The desire to take advantage of freebies is in the nature of most humans, and even those who become superhumans find it hard to change. When Zhao Zheng entered the cafeteria, many freshmen looked at him with complex emotions. Previously, they could look down on Zhao Zheng's talent. But now, with 700 spiritual energy points, Zhao Zheng was already a strong figure in their eyes. Zhao Zheng ignored the freshman's gazes and went to get his food. Just like last time, the cafeteria was self-service today. Various foods were laid out on both sides. People could take what they wanted. Not long after, another student entered the cafeteria. It was Song Haitang. At this moment, Song Haitang was undoubtedly the most dazzling rising star of Zhanwu University. Her appearance immediately attracted the attention of most people in the cafeteria, not just the freshmen. Even the sophomores and juniors knew Song Haitang's name. Some of the male upperclassmen even showed great interest in her. This was because Song Haitang was not only exceptionally talented and had immense potential, but she was also incredibly beautiful. Her face was fair with a rosy glow, appearing very clean. Her eyes were bright and captivating, like jewels. At that moment, several sophomores were looking at Song Haitang as she entered, commenting on her appearance. "Is that Song Haitang?" "Yes. It's her. I heard she's the top freshman. That's really impressive. Just based on her looks, I agree with her being number one." "What? Leopard, interested in her?" "I heard this girl has a high school classmate, and their love story is quite unforgettable. It's very popular online." "Really? I like challenges like this." As soon as he finished speaking, Leopard wiped his mouth, immediately stood up, and walked towards Song Haitang. His companions also put down their food and began watching the spectacle. After entering the cafeteria, Song Haitang's eyes scanned the surroundings. She had already messaged Zhao Zheng before coming, knowing he was here. Just then, a strong figure suddenly appeared before her. "Hello, you must be Song Haitang, right? I'm Zhang Tubao, a sophomore in Class A." Song Haitang glanced at Zhang Tubao and, out of politeness, nodded, saying, "Hello, senior, is there anything I can help you with?" "Nothing much, just wanted to get to know you," Zhang Tubao said, immediately taking out his phone. "Junior, let's add each other on WhatsApp first. It'll be easier to keep in touch." Song Haitang frowned. What was Zhang Tubao up to? It was far too obvious. She said directly, "No need, I'm already engaged." This wasn't a lie. In the second level of the spiritual realm, Song Haitang accepted the token of love from Zhao Zheng, which meant she was engaged. As for not having her parents' consent, hell, nowadays you don't even need your parents' permission to get married. Hearing the girl's words, Zhang Tubao froze on the spot. Song Haitang was actually engaged? She's only just turned 18, right? Why the rush to get engaged? Zhang Tubao didn't quite believe it. He thought this was probably Song Haitang's excuse for rejecting his advances. From this, it was clear that this girl was quite difficult to win over. Thinking of this, Zhang Tubao decided to use his true abilities. "Junior, you're joking. Besides, even if you're engaged, it doesn't mean you don't have a choice." As he spoke, Zhang Tubao looked at Song Haitang with burning eyes. His eyes seemed to possess a magical power, with a certain alluring effect, capable of influencing people's hearts. Song Haitang's mental attributes were currently extremely high, and she immediately sensed the method Zhang Tubao was using against her. Daring to use his superpowers on her? The girl immediately reacted fiercely. Bang! A fierce flame suddenly appeared in front of Song Haitang, burning directly towards Zhang Tubao. Zhang Tubao was startled. However, this guy reacted quickly, leaping away like a leopard, narrowly avoiding Song Haitang's fire attack. "This is just a warning," Song Haitang's icy voice rang out. "If there's a next time, I'll kill you." The sudden turn of events instantly drew everyone's attention in the cafeteria. Seeing many people looking this way, Zhang Tubao immediately laughed and said, "Junior sister Song Haitang, I was just joking. Your reaction was a bit excessive." Song Haitang just looked at him coldly, without saying a word. "Since junior sister refuses, then forget it," Zhang Tubao said, turning and returning to his seat. The others, seeing no excitement to watch, were a little disappointed and continued to eat. When Zhang Tubao returned to his seat, he immediately heard his companions laughing. Brother Leopard, got rejected, huh? Looks like the rumors were true. This Song Haitang is really head over heels for her pretty boy, haha, even our brother Leopard gets rejected? That's a rare sight indeed." Zhang Tubao just smiled faintly at his companion's teasing, seemingly unconcerned. In reality, he was furious. The ball of fire Song Haitang had just unleashed, though not particularly powerful, had been aimed directly at his face. Had he reacted any slower, he might have been disfigured. More importantly, he was very proud, and Song Haitang's actions had made him lose face in front of his friends. Brother Leopard, I just saw you use your special skill, right? One of his companions asked. That girl named Song Haitang was immune and could even counterattack quickly, which means her mental attribute is higher than we thought. What? You didn't know, another companion said. Song Haitang just got an SSS level rating in the second level of the spiritual realm, gaining 350 spiritual energy points. Now her mental attribute is at least 600 points. Is that so? The first companion exclaimed. Zhang Tudao also looked surprised. Then, he couldn't help but turn back and look at Song Haitang again, seemingly even more interested in this girl. Haitang, what happened just now? Zhao Zheng came up to Song Haitang and asked. Song Haitang's reaction just now was indeed a bit intense. Based on his understanding of Song Haitang, she wasn't someone who acted impulsively easily. Song Haitang said, that person seems to possess a charm-like ability. They tried to use it on me just now, but I noticed in time. Hearing this, Zhao Zheng's face immediately darkened. Song Haitang was his chosen wife, how dare he make a move on her? And with such underhanded tactics? Zhao Zheng glanced at Zhang Tubao, already plotting how to kill him without anyone noticing. Although he possessed Superman's physique, he didn't have Superman's compassionate and saintly heart. On the contrary, he admired the unbridled and ruthless Azu even more. Chapter 73 Zhao Zheng's life, 2 million is enough. After lunch, Zhao Zheng returned to his apartment to rest. While he slept, news of him and Song Haitang receiving their second SSS level mission rating spread rapidly. In the Federal Republic, it was already past 3 a.m. The luxurious Smith Manor remained brightly lit. This was Mr. Ethan Smith's rule. No one in the manor could sleep until he was asleep. Ethan was still awake so late because he had just experienced the pain of losing his daughter and was having trouble sleeping. Anyway, with his current mental attributes, staying up all night wouldn't have any effect. Knock. 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 A knock sounded at the door. Come in, Ethan called out authoritatively from the study. A black butler entered quietly and reported in a low voice, Sir, we just received news that the two new students from the East, Song and Zhao, have once again received an SSS level mission rating in the second level of the spiritual realm. Hearing this, Ethan instantly looked up, staring intently at his butler. At this moment, Ethan exuded a terrifying aura, causing all the metal in the study to tremble. The black butler's face turned pale with fright, his head bowed, not daring to move an inch, much less look at Ethan. Excellent, Ethan's voice suppressed indescribable anger. I believe that they'll deserve some credit for their achievement. The butler dared not accept this. A moment later, Ethan seemed to regain his composure. 2 consecutive SSS level mission evaluations? Enviable, and incredible. Immediately collect their information. The black butler seemed prepared, immediately producing a document and saying, it's ready for you. This is the latest information on those 2 freshmen. From the CIA. Seeing that the butler was well prepared, Ethan's expression softened slightly. Taking the document from the butler, Ethan immediately began to peruse it. The document naturally contained information on Song Haitang and Zhao Zheng. Ethan glanced at it but found nothing unusual. He calmly pondered for a moment before saying, since the Holy Land was founded, there must have been at least 100 Logia-type devil fruit users, right? Yes, sir, the butler replied. According to statistics, Logia-type devil fruits have appeared a total of 136 times. However, very few were truly lucky enough to reach the end, most have already died. Ethan said, of the more than 100 Logia-type devil fruit users, many possess talents even more destructive than the flame fruit. For example, the magma fruit and the rumble fruit, even they struggle to achieve an S-rank mission evaluation. Why is it that the flame fruit can achieve an SSS rank mission evaluation twice in a row? Could that Song really be an unprecedented genius? Ethan said, glancing at Song Haitang's file. The file included the Intelligence Bureau's assessment, immense potential. Threat level, X. He stared intently at the photo on the file, glanced at it a few times, and then flipped to the next one. The next file was naturally Zhao Zheng's. The Intelligence Bureau also gave the assessment, limited potential. Threat level, average. Ethan smiled upon seeing this, his gaze sweeping over Zhao Zheng's talent section. Kryptonian blood, he was somewhat surprised. This kid actually had the legendary useless talent? How can someone with Kryptonian blood be paired with a user of the flame fruit? And become Song's only teammate, sir, originally. This flame fruit belonged to, the butler recounted the two's information, concluding, Their story is very popular online, and its authenticity is highly probable. Ethan nodded. Although the butler provided a reasonable explanation, he still felt it wasn't that simple. He carefully examined Zhao Zheng's information again but found nothing unusual. Many people have experienced sunbathing. Zhao Zheng's behavior isn't abnormal. Everything seemed reasonable. Ethan frowned. Then, he remembered something. Regarding Kryptonian blood, I remember there was one in South Korea too. It wasn't that Ethan had a particularly good memory. Rather, that Kryptonian blood user in South Korea was quite famous. It was this person who proved with his actions that Kryptonian blood was a useless talent. No extra abilities whatsoever. Training couldn't increase his attributes either. With the cooperation of the South Korean government, every method had been tried: burning, electric shocks, poisoning, even pushing him to the brink of death to activate his potential, but nothing worked. After trying for over a decade, they finally had to give up. Sunbathing devices only appeared in the last 2 years. Yes, sir, the black butler said. Your memory is excellent. Ethan ignored the butler's small act of flattery and immediately asked, is that person still alive? The black butler, clearly prepared, immediately replied, also alive, but over 80 years old. His days are numbered. Given his behavior, he's more likely to go to hell. It seemed that the South Korean man must have done many disgusting things unknown to ordinary people to elicit such an assessment from the black butler. Ethan ignored him, simply saying, it's good that he's alive. Bring him here immediately, and have someone keep an eye on that Zhao. Make the old man do everything he does every day. Sir, I'm afraid what you're saying is impossible, the black butler said hastily, seeing Ethan's growing anger. About a month ago, that Kryptonian from South Korea suffered a sudden cerebral hemorrhage and was admitted to the intensive care unit. He's currently in a coma, and whether he'll wake up is still unknown. Hearing this, Ethan frowned. The old man from South Korea was indeed incapable of cooperating with his experiments in that condition. He had to abandon that plan. Go to the dark web and post anonymous bounties. Ethan gritted his teeth. I want them to pay for Dale's death. Yes, sir. The black butler noted it down and then asked, how much is the bounty? Ethan thought for a moment and said, Song, $100 million. Zhao, $2 million. His money didn't grow on trees. He had to save where he could. Offering Song Haitang $100 million was because your life was worth that price. As for Zhao Zheng's $2 million, well, it's offensive to say, but for a Kryptonian with limited potential, $2 million is more than enough to buy his life. Sir, there's one more thing, the black butler reminded him. The CIA wants your cooperation in staging a scene. Oh? Explain clearly. Some readers commented that the previous chapter was too cliched and have been revised. Please vote. Chapter 74 Song Haitang is actually from South Korea. Congratulations to our two genius extraordinary students, Song Haitang and Zhao Zheng, for achieving another brilliant feat. They have once again obtained an SSS level perfect mission evaluation in the second level of the spiritual realm, setting a new world record. Achieving an SSS level perfect mission evaluation twice in a row is an astonishing achievement. The outstanding performance of these two students has also allowed the world to see the powerful strength and profound foundation of Xia Kingdom's extraordinary individuals. After waking up, Zhao Zheng saw that the People's Daily, the largest official media outlet in China, had devoted a full page to reporting on his and Song Haitang's deeds. Of course, the article devoted much more space to Song Haitang than to him. The People's Daily completely portrayed Song Haitang as a positive role model, using extremely complimentary language. Finally, it concluded with a sophisticated statement, those who chase the light will eventually shine brightly. Good. Well written. Zhao Zheng highly approved of the article. After all, it was praising his wife. Besides the People's Daily, major news media outlets were also reporting on it. At this moment, anyone who opened their phone would inevitably see the name Song Haitang. Because the entire internet was discussing, holy crap. 2 consecutive record-breaking performances, an SSS level perfect mission rating? That's awesome. The second level of the spirit realm? I remember it being extremely dangerous. They teamed up and still managed to achieve this? Truly impressive. This is unprecedented. With such a foundation, Song Haitang will definitely become a top expert in the future. Right, that's right. As long as Song Haitang doesn't die young, she'll definitely become a top expert. Song Haitang is amazing, the hope of the nation. Most importantly, this girl's appearance is goddess level, incredibly beautiful. She's truly outstanding. I wonder which bastard will end up with her. These are all relatively normal comments from netizens. There were also many abnormal comments. I have to correct you all. The truly powerful one is Song Haitang. Her teammate doesn't deserve such glory. That's right, that kid is just a freeloader. The fact that Goddess Haitang can carry him is enough to prove how powerful she is. He's already received 2 SSS level mission evaluations in a row. Zhao Zheng should be satisfied, right? I hope he'll be sensible and leave my goddess as soon as possible, so as not to drag her down. Exactly, it's not easy for us girls to produce a strong seed. We can't let Guonan drag him down. If he's sensible, he should just get lost. What a jerk. Can you guys use your brains? Without Zhao Zheng's flame fruit, Song Haitang wouldn't have achieved this, right? Besides, after 2 consecutive SSS level mission evaluations, have you calculated how many spirit points Zhao Zheng got? He's a strong newcomer now. Okay, the top trending topic nationwide. The headlines of major news media. And everywhere netizens gathered, blogs, forums, short videos, were all discussing Song Haitang. They're hot. Song Haitang is incredibly popular. While her current fame might not rival that of some established veterans, she's undoubtedly the most talked about celebrity in China right now. Even Zhao Zheng has seen a surge in popularity. However, opinions on Zhao Zheng are mixed, unlike the overwhelming praise for Song Haitang. Besides their domestic success, their international fame is also skyrocketing. Many well-known international media outlets are reporting on them. However, the language and style of these international media outlets are completely different from those in China. For example, one media outlet from the Federation wrote, "Why hasn't such a genius been born in our Federation? Is God abandoning us?" The Eagle Empire was very direct, calling out, "Song, our Eagle Empire desperately needs talent like you. We hope you will join the Eagle Empire. You will receive hero treatment." The South Korean media was the most shameless. According to reliable investigations, the genius girl Song Haitang is very likely a descendant of the famous General Song Shunshin from the reign of King Seonjo. Therefore, Song Haitang is actually a South Korean. Good, I knew they'd pull this stunt, and I was right, as expected of the Koreans, just like them. What surprises me is that you're actually surprised to see news like this. Even Zhao Zheng was amused when he saw what the South Korean media said. Indeed, whether on Earth or Blue Star, the Koreans are a mysterious force. The next day, Zhao Zheng arrived at school. He suddenly noticed a significant increase in security. Most noticeably, many young and strong security guards had been added at the entrance. Previously, Zhao Zheng could enter the school freely. Now, he needed to show his student's ID before the guards at the gate would let him in. Once inside, Zhao Zheng could clearly feel the atmosphere had become more serious. Security guards were patrolling everywhere. Moreover, these guards were all unfamiliar faces, each with sharp eyes, clearly elite, and carrying weapons on their waists. And those weapons seemed to be real. Seeing these changes, Zhao Zheng vaguely guessed that something had happened. He went to Class B's classroom and, as soon as he sat down, asked the classmate next to him, "Why are there so many security guards at school, huh?" "Zhao Zheng, don't you know?" Seeing Zhao Zheng shake his head, the classmate explained, "Last night, several bounty posters suddenly appeared on the dark web. They're all for Song Haitang, and the amounts are huge. You can search online to find out. The People's Daily just published an article condemning this behavior, but those bounty posters are all anonymously posted. No one admits to it, so they can only condemn it." Zhao Zheng was stunned. He originally thought it was Magneto wanting revenge for his daughter and had issued the bounty posters, but he didn't expect his classmate to say that there were actually several bounty posters. It seems that Song Haitang's behavior has made many people uneasy. He immediately took out his phone and went online, and found that the online sentiment had indeed changed. Domestic netizens were angrily condemning the bounty posters that appeared on the dark web. Damn! Who issued these bounty notices? What are they trying to do? Is that even a question? They must see Song Haitang is too outstanding and are afraid he'll grow up and change the world order, so they want to stifle a genius. Damn! This is shameless. I don't understand. Why would they do this? Don't we humans have a common enemy? Every year so many heroes sacrifice themselves on foreign battlefields. Why would they do something like this? Hell, wherever there are people, there will be conflict. Internal strife is ingrained in human genes. They'd rather see all of humanity destroyed by external enemies than see you doing better than them. The person upstairs makes sense. That's just human nature. Zhao Zheng scrolled through the comments while pondering. The fact that so many elite security guards appeared at the school right after the bounty notices were issued was enough to show that Song Haitang had received attention from above. Those elite security guards must have been sent by higher-ups. The school didn't have the financial resources to hire so many elites as security personnel. Oh, right, Zhao Zheng. While Zhao Zheng was pondering, his classmate next to him suddenly said, "There's another bounty on the dark web, and the target is you." Oh, Zhao Zheng's eyes lit up. Chapter 75 Phoenix Fruit User. A bounty on me, who has such good taste. Zhao Zheng seemed very happy. He originally thought that only Song Haitang had a bounty on him. He didn't expect that someone else would put a bounty on him. This made him feel quite valued. Seeing this, his classmate asked strangely, "Zhao Zheng, I remember you live off campus, right? Aren't you worried?" "Worried? Of course I'm worried," Zhao Zheng said. But looking at him, he didn't seem worried at all. "By the way, how much is my bounty?" Zhao Zheng asked again. This was a question he cared about very much. His classmate looked strange upon hearing this, thought for a moment, then turned on his phone, searched for something, and handed it to Zhao Zheng. "Take a look for yourself." Zhao Zheng took the phone and saw that many netizens were talking about him on a certain forum. Floor 1, holy crap. Guys, this is incredible. I actually saw someone on the dark web offering a bounty for Zhao Zheng. Floor 2, really? He's worth a bounty. Floor 3, dude upstairs, that's hurtful. He at least got 700 psionic points after hanging out with a goddess twice. Floor 4, I just want to know, how much is Zhao Zheng's bounty? Floor 5, $2 million. Floor 6, $2 million? Ha ha ha, that's hilarious. I've never seen such a small bounty on the dark web before. Floor 7, hilarious. Song Haitang's bounties started at least 100 million, and the highest even reached 1 billion. This is only 2 million. Floor 8, haha, that price suits that kid perfectly. There were many more comments. But Zhao Zheng didn't want to read them. He was furious. A $2 million bounty was a complete insult. Because in this world, the value of the US dollar was roughly the same as the RMB. The Federation was once a world superpower, but it wasn't anymore. 2 million to buy his life? That's incredibly disrespectful. He's a superhuman, not an ordinary person. Even if the target of the bounty is an ordinary person, 2 million is a bit low. Anyone with a bit of status would pay more than that. Zhao Zheng, even though the bounty is small, don't be careless. Seeing Zhao Zheng's pale face, his classmate thought he was scared and immediately suggested, "Why don't you move back to school, Zhao Zheng?" Ding-a-ling. Just then, the class bell rang, offering Zhao Zheng a small respite. Old Chu walked into the classroom on time. His gaze swept around the classroom, and he noticed that 20 students were missing, which pained him greatly. This was Old Chu's first time as the head teacher, and he valued every student in the class highly. Once he became a seasoned veteran, he would be used to it. Then, Old Chu's gaze settled on Zhao Zheng. "The rest of you go train Zhao Zheng first. You come with me." With that, Old Chu led the way out of the classroom. Zhao Zheng was a little confused, but he quickly got up and followed Lao Chu. Outside the classroom, Lao Chu looked at Zhao Zheng and said, "The principal came back last night and specifically asked to see you this morning. Let me take you there." Zhao Zheng was taken aback and asked as they walked, "Why does the principal suddenly want to see me?" "I don't know, but it shouldn't be anything bad," Lao Chu explained. "Your performance with Song Haitang in the spirit realm has already alarmed many big shots above. Although you were just incidentally involved, you've still received some attention, Zhao Zheng." Lao Chu didn't notice Zhao Zheng's expression and continued, "The principal seeing you at this time is more likely to be for a reward?" Zhao Zheng nodded and asked, "Are all these unfamiliar security guards in the school sent by higher-ups?" "Yes. Ever since the wanted poster appeared on the dark web, the security at Zhenhua University has been completely replaced by higher-ups, and several very powerful experts have been dispatched to act as protectors, hiding in the shadows," Lao Chu said. "All of this is to protect Song Haitang. Such a large-scale operation?" Zhao Zheng asked in surprise. He knew the higher-ups would value Song Haitang, but he hadn't expected them to value her this much. Old Chu hesitated for a moment, then couldn't help but say, "I also think the higher-ups are making a bit of a fuss, as if they're treating Song Haitang like a lifeline, afraid she might suffer even the slightest mishap." Hearing this, Zhao Zheng suddenly had a thought. If his previous guess was correct, and something was devouring the sun, then the higher-ups might really be seeing Song Haitang as the hope for saving the world. When you meet the principal later, be polite, Old Chu instructed Zhao Zheng. Our principal is a mythical Zoan-type phoenix fruit user, with overall strength ranking in the top 30 nationwide, extremely strong. A moment later, in the principal's office, Old Chu knocked on the door first and went in. Zhao Zheng stood outside, hearing Old Chu's respectful voice from inside. Principal, my student Zhao Zheng has arrived, let him in, a gentle voice sounded. Then, Old Chu returned to the outside and led Zhao Zheng inside. The principal's office was very large. Zhao Zheng had been to the vice principal's office before, which was much smaller than this one. At this moment, there were already quite a few people in the principal's office. Besides the vice principal and some leaders, Song Haitang and teacher Shen were also there. As Zhao Zheng entered the principal's office, his gaze immediately fell on the principal behind the desk. He was curious about what the Phoenix Devil Fruit user of this world would look like. He had initially imagined the principal to be a middle-aged man with glasses. After all, the original character Marco had a very distinctive appearance, which subconsciously influenced Zhao Zheng's judgment. However, upon seeing the principal in person, Zhao Zheng realized that the principal was very different from what he had imagined. In appearance, the principal was a clean-cut, middle-aged, slightly overweight man with a constant smile on his face, appearing very kind. He didn't possess any aura of a powerful figure. He was quite ordinary. If the principal were placed on the street, passers-by would likely mistake him for a businessman, not someone with extraordinary abilities. Hello, principal, Zhao Zheng greeted him immediately, his tone respectful. He had previously learned about the principal of Zhenwu University, knowing that he had repeatedly supported the extraterrestrial battlefield, killing countless enemies and being a combat hero. Such a person deserves his respect. Good, young man, you're very spirited, the principal said with a smile. Find a seat. Zhao Zheng sat down beside him. Then, the principal looked at the others. You all go ahead and get back to your work. Hearing this, the vice principal and the others knew the principal wanted to speak with Zhao Zheng privately. So they all stood up and left the office. This included Song Haitang and that teacher Shen. The moment Song Haitang stood up, Zhao Zheng gave her an inquiring look, wanting to find out why the principal wanted to see him. The girl's response was a smile. The two were now working together seamlessly. Zhao Zheng immediately knew that the principal wanted to see him for good news. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.